Welcome, one and all, everybody, to round 3 of part 1 of the SRDL 2025 series. So, as most of you know, this is a 3-part series where we do the Street League first, featuring the Swarm cars from Team Swarm. Part 2 will consist of the Pro-Am League, which you'll learn about here before too long. And part 3 will be the Pro League, which will be coming up later this year, probably late summer, early fall. And we will be moving on to that very soon. But thank y'all for being here. Again, it's myself, Gris Gibbs, and Pushy.
What's going on? It's me.
We are so happy to have you all here. And we're ready to get back into this. Round 3, of course, featuring Shadow Valley, our home track. And it is layout A, so we'll have a nice, quick, very, very short initiation off that green line there, moving into the first inner clip. Drivers are primarily on throttle all the way through, all the way in inner clip 1, moving through the tunnel in the inner clip 2. Outer touch and go number 1, and a little decel if you need it between outer touch and go 1 and outer zone 1, but a lot of drivers don't, but we're giving it to you if you do. The big outer zone 1 moving into a big outer zone 2, going up a steep hill in inner clip 3, outer touch and go number 2, and outside zone number 3 to finish off the track, going across the bridge. Bushy, I'm ready to go. What about you?
I am ready to go.
Tell them what they got to do.
Feeling great. So, 2 drivers battle head-to-head. Battles will consist of 2 runs. And our great judges tonight will determine the winner based off the line, angle, and style.
So that lead driver is going to need to run that ideal 100-point lead line, which all the drivers were apprised of during the drivers' meeting. They're going to make a followable lead for the chase. They know their rules. They know what they have to do. And they're going to follow that momentum map, which is pretty easy. It's just skinny pedal down. Chase driver is going to need to maintain that close proximity, match or better that lead run, and don't hit the lead. You can give them a little rub, but don't hit them. So, we have a big announcement, Pushy.
We do have a big announcement.
We got to let the people know when the Pro-Am League's coming up. So, on May 23rd, we're going to have our qualifying round, and back-to-back on May 24th, we're running into round 1. June 14th will be our round 2, and June 28th, which is a date that may have to be adjusted. Actually, will definitely have to be adjusted now that I look at it. Will be tentatively changed, and will be our final round for the Pro-Am series. Those will be featuring our Pro-Am cars, the SRDL Pro-Am pack, which has been newly updated as of, I believe, late last year. And we're excited to announce our tracks and get into that. Might see some new stuff, some never been seen publicly before tracks for that round, for that part of the round. But right now we'd like to move into our new partner and announce our ambassadorship with none other than PRP Seats. And we have a little promo to give y'all, so we're gonna kick into that really quick.
I was meant to be new. I was meant to be beautiful. The world would have looked to the sky and seen hope.
So, we have begun our ambassadorship with PRP. We are very excited to represent them as a brand. All of their products, quality tested, quality approved. I mean, to the T, best stuff that I've ever seen. One of our members knows them, works alongside them a lot, and man, can't attest to how good their products are more so than I could put into words. They're fantastic. I'm about to order a wheel myself for the old Sims. So, but we're gonna hop right in to our first set of battles. We should have our first 8 drivers in the server for our first 4 battles. I'm gonna do a quick verification just to make sure we got everybody in here, but those first 2 up to bat are gonna be Carbon Drift Team's own Omer Bagdatli against AMR Fan 95. And it looks like they're at the line, so we're gonna zoom on down into them. And we're gonna get right on into it as soon as Tofu drops the light. And here we go. Omer Bagdatli, clean initiation in the first interclip. No tire drops. A little bit of a tire drop in the chase from AMR Fan, but AMR Fan surges into the inner touch and go 1. Outer zone 1, Omer left right or left rear on the line. AMR Fan quickly right behind him, but leaving a little bit of a gap. Omer making great progress up the hill as they touch the inner clip with a clean line. Little bit of a tap from AMR Fan as they transition through the second touch and go into final outer zone 3. Very good, clean lead run from Omer. And a couple things to sharpen up for AMR, but ultimately a good battle, good first half battle to kick off this round 3 of our Street Series.
Yeah, 2 great drivers really coming in here to start this one off. So I think this is going to be one to top here. Both drivers, AMR, very consistent. Omar, leader in points, if I'm correct.
Yes.
So 2 great drivers, but here they're off the line. AMR, big flick initiation. Omar not leaving too much proximity to be had there. Into this outer zone, both drivers. Omar lacking a little bit of proximity still, though, seeming like he's having a hard time keeping up here, but as we go into this uphill portion, I'm going to assume this is going to change with this natural decel here. And I would be right as they hit that inner clip into this outer touch and go onto the wall. This wall will be taking its victim tonight, I guarantee, at some point, and both drivers over the line. For a great second run here, the judges have some deliberations to do, I think, after this one. First one, too. It's going to be a long night if this is what it's going to be.
Oh, yeah.
But as we watch back to back, I think we're going to be looking at a lot more proximity, but that little bit of a straight in there from AMR, I don't know if that's going to be enough to zero out his chase run. We will have to see.
Yeah, ultimately, I mean, you know, with the side-by-side, it's kind of hard to tell. There were little corrections and, you know, adjustments here and there in both drivers, but I don't know. I think we have a decision. So we will see how it is slid. We have Judge 1, Judge 2, Judge 3. Judge 1, Omer. 2, Omer. 3, Omer is moving on to the top 16. AMR Fan, unfortunately, dropping out, but I'm sure we will see him in the Pro-Am Series. Up next, we have E92 Nick against Shadowrealm's own Joe Stafford.
This is going to be interesting.
This will be a good one. Joe, big V8 guy. We will see what happens here. The lights are green. We are off. Joe Stafford in that chase position. And E92 Nick in the lead. A little bit of a tire drop in the chase. Off the jump. E92 Nick making a little bit of adjustment through the first touch and go, dropping some tire in that first outer zone. Joe Stafford leaving a little bit of angle, but maintaining that proximity as they go through. Joe Stafford in the wall,
no.
straightening up as they go up the hill. Manages to make a little bit of a correction, but E92 Nick over angling, leaving Joe nowhere to go. A 0-0 on the board?
That's what it's looking like to me. We might have a battle decided in the second run. Or no, lead driver zeroed out, so
It would have to be decided in the second run at this point if I have everything correct.
well, I think Joe just has to put down a clean run just because the lead driver is
We need a clean lead. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, we're not judges. We're just voice boxes. So don't listen to us. The judges have the rules. They got that down. But us, on the other hand, we just like to speak. So a little tire drop in the lead and in the chase on the first interclip. Moving around, outer zone 1. Great proximity, great angle. In the outer 2, on the white line, Joe Stafford ripping it up the hill, but E92 Nick not letting him get anywhere. No issues through the prior area where we had issues. Joe Stafford a little bit lacking throttle potentially in that outer zone. Could have just been my angle. Apologies, I'm speaking and running drone cam. It's a lot to do, but we're doing it.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. But I think, going back now to think about it afterwards, I think all Joe has to do here is run a clean lead. And we will see more than likely a win come out for him. But
you know, one thing that I did see in Joe's lead is a little bit of a hesitation in outer zone 3, which caused him to kind of surge forward a little bit, but I don't know if that is going to be a determinant issue, but we do have a call. We'll see where the judges move him. E92 Nick for 1, OMT for 1. And E92 Nick will be advancing to battle Omer. So we will be moving on to our third battle of the night between Bad Future Serene and another Shadowrealm driver, Uncle Miz. Uncle Miz pulling up in that C5 Corvette. And Bad Future Serene in the E36.
all right, so both drivers off the line here. Might have been a tire drop in that inner clip, but we go under the bridge into this other clip. Outside, both drivers, perfect proximity here, beautiful line as we come into this outer zone, coming back under the bridge. A little bit of lacking proximity coming from the Corvette though. As they come up the hill, he will make that proximity back up as they hit this inner clip into this outer touch and go. And into this wall. Will this be the first victim? And they get through clean.
What a run!
That was pretty crazy to watch.
Little ketchup and mustard battle here. But, I mean, that was some intensity put on the door by Uncle Miz. I'm not trying to take away from that lead run. Serene put down a fantastic lead. I mean, you can't have that good of a chase without a good lead, but wow, I don't know. We'll see what the second half has to offer. We're off and we're in it. Uncle Miz flicking in, Serene right behind him. No tire drops off the jump. Clean and good to go. Little bit of a 1 on the inner clip 2. We'll see. Outer zone 1. Locked in. Miz could have been a little bit deeper in that outer one, but Serene right on his door. Through outer 2, Serene kind of massaging his way into the pocket a little bit as they move up the hill into inner clip 3. Nice little touch and go before a quick transition in outer zone 3. And a very clean wall ride. Could this be our first OMT of the night?
I don't know.
Could this be a win for Uncle Miz? Could this be a win for Serene?
We'll have to watch side by side here, because they look like they were pretty well same proximity throughout the run, both on their chase. And
This was
both
a
drivers
yeah,
had a
man.
great lead as well. So I think this might come down to just when they come under the bridge under that second outer zone. I think more bobbles coming from the E36, and just Miz had a little bit of lack in proximity. So they might just chalk that up to about equal in fault and maybe go into an OMT here.
Could be, very much so. I mean, that's a very good possibility. Ultimately, I think this could come down to tire drops for Miz. But we have a little bit of an explanation from the judges, but we'll see how they slide them. We got one for Serene. Everyone for Serene. Okay. So judges have sent a little bit of an explanation saying there was a tire drop from Miz and inside one in the chase. And Serene just had a smoother line and was deeper in the lead in the zones. And so, I mean, you know, ultimately those zones are marked on the track because you're supposed to hit them. So we will see if John Woods and Ferbs can do better. John Woods in that lead position, Ferbs in the chase. Clean initiation, a little bit of a tire drop in the chase, but we're moving clean through the first little section of this track into the first outer zone. Ferbs diving into the pocket, but leaving a little bit of a gap between him and John Woods, but he doesn't hesitate through the second outer zone. Gets really nice up in the pocket of John Woods as they move up to the final zone of the track. John Woods deep in the wall in the beginning of the zone. That, I thought you were going to see the first victim. And will Drifto make his appearance tonight? What do you think, Pushy?
100% someone's hitting that wall tonight. I would put a paycheck on it.
Dan in the chat says exhaust is definitely coming off. So we'll see if that occurs. I wouldn't be surprised, but we will see.
But both these drivers are off. Mr. John Woods, I heard he's good under pressure, so we'll have to see as Ferbs goes across under the bridge into the outer touch and go into this outer zone. John Woods diving in to get to the door. Could have been a bit better zone coverage from the lead driver there as Ferbs comes into this Manji on the wall, taps the wall, and straightens out. Looks like we are going to see a zero come out of the lead there as both the drivers continue their run up the hill, on the wall, and over the line. But I think John Woods will be getting that off of that wall tap and straight in there.
I think that'll be a John Woods win.
But we're not the judges.
We're not the judges.
So don't listen to what we say.
No,
it's like sports betting. We're going to say this team's going to win, and then when the team doesn't win, we're going to say you shouldn't listen to us.
Exactly. Yeah, we're just analysts.
Yeah.
And that's a stretch, if we're being honest. So, but we'll see what the judges have to say. Looks like we have a little bit of the deliberation going on.
Was there contact from John? That's another thing too. I seem to miss that. I shouldn't say we. I'll put myself under the bus here.
No, it's we. We have my drone cam. So it's me also speaking and moving around a camera and helping organize the comp, and we don't have the best view on stream. However, the judges do. We give you a view that's fun to the eyes. It tickles the eyeballs. So that's what we try to do here. Not the crazy drone cam, but oh shoot, what's the word? I don't know, man. A fun drone cam. I don't know.
We're just.
I don't know, man.
I almost made
looks
a joke.
Like it doesn't look like there was any contact. It looks.
I don't think there was contact there.
Our little slow-mo John Madden replay going on, and it looks like
that tailpipe, man. He got that tailpipe.
It looks
in
like
the wall.
Bad Future's tailpipe got a little bit too deep into the wall there, and just kind of shut him out a little bit. Ferbs.
Bonsai pipes.
Ferbs. Oh, it's Ferbs and John Woods. Ferbs says he clips me there 100%, but there was about a car and a half length.
And this is one thing about sim drifting, folks, is that if you have people from across the world, netcode. So, I mean, it may not look like it to us. It could have happened to him. I won't say that it didn't. You gotta always believe the guy, but
Hey,
we gotta. The only one way that there is a definite that awkward transition before he goes into that wall. Now that could be a spot where
that could be it.
That's another thing too. So obviously we got judges trying to make a deliberation on something like this. We'll see what they think. But yeah, if we watch run 2 here, right here, you touch it, it just seems awkward in that transition. It seems like there may have been some netcode there.
Oh, hello. It's early for me to be in here tonight, isn't it?
Oh, we have a judge. What's going on?
It's early. So a bit of a difficult call. The second run is really the hard one. Ferbs had a very good chase. John had a very good lead. With swapping positions, we have a tire drop from Ferbs on Interclip 1, both in the lead and in the chase. OZ1 wasn't necessarily filled by Ferbs. He got into it early, left it early, and it was kind of half. So, I mean, that would put the chase driver offline, following where he's going, which what we believe caused a contact because there were brake lights from the chase also. So we put run 2 as shared fault. Two judges, putting Ferbs at fault, and then one putting John at fault. So couldn't necessarily make a decision, but we have 1 vote for Ferbs and then 2 for one more time. So it's a one more time.
We will see it again.
There you go again.
We're going to see it one more time. So I think that's the best call for this event. You know, at the end of the day, we have a lot of things going on. You know, netcode, name it. You know, it's all there. So we're all there. So we're going to see it one more time. We're going to have John Woods in the lead. We're going to have Ferbs in the chase.
Look at that pipe. What do you think? That's a foot up.
We're off Ferbs with a late start. John Woods dropping a hell of a lot of tires on the first. Ferbs dropping 1 on the second. Not off to the hottest start, but we have a nice coverage of outer zone 1 from John Woods. Ferbs right in the set of John Woods, not letting him go anywhere. Ferbs on that wall. John riding that zone as we go up the hill. Ferbs is not leading. Oh, John in the wall.
No.
That would be in the real world a 0, I'm sure.
That would be a very crushed car.
Yeah, that would be a crushed car. So I would not be surprised if the judges deem that as a 0, given the oh, I'm locked on the wrong car. Given the touch of the inner guardrail right there on inner clip number 3. Drivers or judges discussed in the drivers' meeting that was not an optimal thing to do. So.
Yeah, no, hitting your front bumper in that inside clip is going to cause some issues, but both these drivers are going to go offline for their second run.
My drone cam is broken. My drone cam is broken.
It's good. It's good.
Okay,
Outer zone.
We're good.
John Woods not applying as much pressure as I think he needs to win this battle, to make the lead driver here make a mistake, Ferbs. But as they go into this outer 2, John Woods definitely pouring on that angle and just on the door, but Ferbs not hesitant,
not wavering,
the word didn't want to come out of my mouth there, but
no, you're good. I'm just
you know what I meant. I know
we know each other's brains, man. Like we're good. We're good. I got you.
No,
yeah. What do you think? I think this is a Ferbs win.
I think it's a Ferbs win for sure. Basically, just had to run a clean run. John trying to put the the pressure on here, but just not phased is the word that I want to.
Yeah.
Ferb's not phased by the pressure of John Woods as he completes that run. More than likely go on to the top 16, but we do have a judge's call. Wide and left
do indeed.
for Ferb's and right for John, and they all went left.
Ferb's will be moving on to the top 16, and now it's time to call up our second group, which is going to be Diaz, W86, Swarm Sam, Zen Swirly, Shadowrealm's Nibbish, Shadowrealm's Chewy, Shadowrealm's Aceto Edits, Jesus, Petty Carl,
No,
Apex
Jesus
Labs
is
from
not in the
Shadowrealm.
comp.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4 Shadowrealm drivers in this next group. I'm stumbling over my words because I'm so embarrassed.
That's how I felt when I couldn't think of the word phased.
Yeah, man, dude. It's okay. We're here. We're doing good. We're trying. You know what I mean?
You don't get to do this every day.
Not every day.
As
just
you
a
can
couple
tell.
days a week.
a hobby thing.
It's been for the Shadowrealm boys, it's been a ride the past couple of weeks, months. So thank you all for bearing with us. But you know, life happens. Every single one of us have full-time jobs, and it's difficult to make everything roll the way it's supposed to. We're trying a new series this year, but don't worry, we have ideas and plans for the pop-up comps, so do not think that we've forgotten about that. It's coming. But if we could have Diaz, W86, and Swarm Sam up to the line, we're going to get this cooking off. Looks like we have Diaz, W86, no Swarm Sam. Diaz, if you make it to the line, you get yourself a buy run.
Oh no. Not a call no show.
It looks like Diaz is going to be taking a buy run here. So Diaz will be moving along to the top 16.
In that boat. Guy just rolled in from bringing the kids on a ski trip.
He might need a chat. Oh, never mind. He's off. We're good. We'll just let the engine speak.
I'm frozen in that time, but melting in your eyes. Feel I was realized I'm a dreamer. Take me deeper. Tell me it's more than a memory.
All right.
In my heart you belong to me.
Up next, Zen Swirly and Shadowrealm's Nibbish.
Snorlax versus Nibbish. Oh, has he fallen asleep in his car? Can someone go wake him up, please? There he is. Yeah, that car is pretty comfortable. I'd fall asleep in it too. All right, but both these drivers off.
Oh,
Zen
there we go.
Zen Swirly in the lead, Nibbish in the chase. See, didn't call him Nibish this time. And into this outer zone. Ooh, Zen, big angle as he hits this outer zone, but Nibbish sitting on the door as they go into outer
Nibbish
two.
impeding the transition a little bit.
Is that gonna be? Yeah, that could be the lead impeding on the. Or the chase impeding on the lead there, but we'll have to watch as they come up this hill. Rides the wall there and over the line. It's going to be one to see in the replay, I think, of what happened that initiation to cause Mr. Swirly to straighten up there a little bit going into that second outer zone.
And we're off for the second half of the battle. Zen swirling in the chase behind Nibish, leaving a little bit of a gap. Nibish kind of taking off a little bit in that E46. But Swirly kind of diving in this outer zone, closing in that proximity, getting real nice and close to Nibish before they get in the outer two. Swirly massaging his way into the pocket as they move up the hill, but losing a little bit of proximity as they get in the outer clip number 3, or inner clip number 3 rather. Final little touch and go before the final outer zone. Swirly making contact with Nibish.
Ooh.
Oh no, what are we gonna have here?
Are we gonna have an old-fashioned standoff? Maybe an OMT?
Could
I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't think Nibish impeded on Swirly there though. I just think that it might have been an awkward transition. So I'm not sure. See if we look back. Oh no, yeah, he definitely makes contact there. I'm just tripping.
Yeah, there was contact.
I am just tripping.
Tripper. Hold on a minute.
Snipper.
Hold on a minute. I don't know if we have a call for this battle yet.
We do.
Am I looking at the wrong chat?
No? You're the quality scores and results?
I don't know, but we're making kisses on track.
It was all OMT.
Dude, okay, I'm sorry. I'll explain later. But for right now, we have an OMT. And we are off. We got Zen Swirly in that chase position, that Mark II, and Nibish in the E46. Will we have a tire drop? No, we won't on the inner clip 1. We're going to have one in the lead on inner clip 2. Zen Swirly with a deduction off the rip. And another tire drop in outer 1. Pull it together, Swirly! I can say that because I know
He's
him.
falling asleep
Come on,
at the
buddy.
wheel.
Get it in there. Come on, Snorlax. Go! All right, he's got it. He's got it as we go up the hill. Nibish stuck in the chase position, locking in. But Swirly, I mean, a couple tire drops, but a damn good lead.
Damn good lead. Definitely pushing the boundaries of the track.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. But I mean, Swirly's one to push those boundaries, and he's not ashamed to say it.
I think he's falling asleep at the wheel. We're gonna have to, every vehicle that he gets in, we're gonna have to tape an alarm clock and just have it run for every minute, so it's just constantly
He's locked
going
in.
on.
He's locked in. Leave the man alone. He's locked in.
Well, both these drivers are now locked in for this second battle as we see Nibish and Swirly. Big initiation, no tire drops. Swirly on the door, bumper to bumper transition as they go into this outer zone. Proximity is there. Nibish is skinny pedal down as they head into this outer 2. Both drivers, lots of smoke, lots of proximity, putting on a show here as we come up the hill into this inner clip. Perfectly executed, touch and go. And will the wall take its first victim? No, it will not, as these drivers go over the line. Beautiful runs. Beautiful runs.
Nibish is locked in that lead. That was my favorite lead of the night in the Poop Brown E46, dude. That's what I'm saying.
What do you poop brown? That's rust, buddy.
Poop Brown E46.
Find an E46 that isn't rotten.
Hey, dude, I love E46s. And I love the color brown.
I
So,
do
hey,
too, but I tried to
hate
buy
me.
one to drift it, and
Hate
they're all
me,
rotten.
man.
They're all rotten, but I also live in the Rust Belt. So.
Yeah, that's your fault.
Listen,
I'm listening.
yeah, you're right. You're right. I ain't got anything to say after that.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
I didn't think you were gonna call me out. great runs, both these drivers. I think
And it looks like we got a call here. We'll see what we have. Left for Nibish, right for Swirly. One Nibish. Oh, it's going to be Nibish.
Nibish will be taking that. I think the tire drops from Swirly were the nail in the coffin on that one.
Ultimately, I believe you are correct. Well, what can I say other than we need Chewy and a Seto edits up to the line?
Chewy's my president.
And we have a
Listen,
Chewy, but we
voice
don't
in my
have an
head.
Aceto edits.
Didn't ask.
Tell me.
All right, Chewy got to buy.
No Seto edits.
No Aceto edits.
Mr. Sean was busy.
I reckon. So we will have a run.
Habits 15 is clean.
A buy run for Chewy. That was a clean outer zone one.
That's just mesmerizing to watch.
Okay, confirmed. Chewy is Bigfoot.
Yes.
Well, maybe Littlefoot. But, you know.
No, he got a Bigfoot,
Wait a
but
minute.
he's a little man.
You got a big footprint on the sim world, that's for sure.
Guy's just locked in all the time.
Entirely, 100%. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, we have Petty Carl up against Shadowrealm's own Apex Labs. Petty Carl in that E46 Apex Labs in the C5Z06. Petty Carl, big wide initiation, nice and clean, making a big gap on Apex Labs, who look to maybe drop a tire on that second inner clip. Petty Carl locking it in that first outer zone. Apex Labs diving in a little bit, making that proximity a little bit closer. Petty Carl massaging in that first outer zone. A little bit of a contact that had to have happened that we didn't see. But ultimately, that's the chase driver. So, wrong button. Apologies. But there was a considerable gap.
Definitely an odd looking transition going into that second outer zone. So I'm gonna be kind of
Odd-looking
curious to
transition.
see what the judges saw.
There's got to be something, yeah, something odd there for sure.
Because it didn't look just like the chase driver had an issue, but it did look like the lead driver also had some weird stuff going on. So I don't
No,
in that
you know-
in that that transition if they both had contact. It would still be on the chase, but
Right. You see, that's kind of why I said, like, at the end of the day, it's still on the chase, but it's still a weird thing. Anyway, we have Apex Labs leading. Go ahead, take it away.
and both these drivers off the line through this inner clip into this outer touch and go into the first outer zone. Not a lot of proximity coming out of the chase driver here as we have Apex Lab. Beautiful transition into this outer two. Both drivers, though, we have Petty making up that distance as they come up the hill. Could have been a bit tighter into that inner clip as they come into this touch and go into, oh no, but we have a over rotation from the chase driver as Apex Labs finishes that run. Will we see an OMT?
You know,
Will we be judged off of lead to lead?
I think I want to see run one again because I think netcode considered and everything. I think this may be a good candidate for an OMT, and I know y'all hear me say that a lot, but look at that. You know what I mean? It looks like Apex thought he was a hell of a lot closer and made contact, but he didn't.
Yeah, it's
I don't know. You know, but also at the same time, Petty Carl was consistent in his angle and speed and didn't make any corrections to make Apex, you know, to force a mistake from the chase. So this is one of those difficult decisions for the judges because this is not, we're dealing with not only the game, but the internet. You know what I mean? And so it's very difficult.
Yeah, that it's gonna be. See, that's the thing too. And I mean, even in the real world, we have issues that arise. Maybe a tie rod snaps and your car over rotates. The judges can't call an OMT because you had an issue with your car, right? And that's kind of where internet issues kind of stimulate. And do we follow the same basis? Do the judges kind of give Apex the benefit of the doubt and then go for the OMT? Kind of hard to say, but we might. If they don't, we are going to be looking at a lead to lead to win this battle. So
yeah, ultimately it's going to be, I don't know, man. It's, you know, Apex had a lot better proximity in the first half of the track, and that, you know, ghost contact, I guess is what I'd call it, made him kind of, you know, step back a little bit. So let's watch it in slow-mo here if we can make that happen and kind of see if we can decipher what happened. Because there's no real contact there, you know what I mean?
See, but is that a hardware issue too? Could this not be internet and just be the fact that maybe Apex's Labs wheel for a second decided to go to full lock? Did the wheel break during the run? Like, you know what I mean?
He stops momentum. He loses momentum.
Look at that front wheel just snap right there for a second. Yeah.
But it doesn't snap until after the contact. Watch. See? It doesn't snap until after the contact, or the ghost contact, so to speak.
Yeah.
This is, in my opinion, and I don't say anything, or I don't have any say here as far as the judge call goes. This is an OMT. And the reason why is because we can't necessarily dictate what occurred in run one, but there was something that knocked Apex back. But at the same time, so judges, side note, judges have pulled replay and they're trying to do the best that they can to judge this run off of how it stands. But ultimately, I think and I'm speaking for them, and that's out of my league, but if they can't make that call, it'll likely be an OMT. There were times, I mean, Apex right there made issues, but we'll see. Okay, so we do have a judge call, and we're going to move on to that. So we have a 3-way OMT, and we have an explanation. They said they could have done lead by lead, but given the independent fault on both chases after the replay in-game review, there was no contact, and all judges decided to go OMT. So we're going to see another run. All right, we got Apex in the chase. Petty in the lead. Apex going a little bit wide after that first initiation point of that inside clip. Petty Carl, big lead. Apex ducking in that first outer zone. Petty Carl, big advantage thus far as they move up the hill. Apex making a little bit of contact as they leave outer zone number 2. Clean movement and transition as they go through to the final outer zone. Petty Carl on that wall. Apex Labs in the cut, but he made big mistakes in the first half of the run that I'm not sure he'll be able to make up for in the lead.
Yeah,
He's
I
gonna
agree
have
with
to,
you.
He's going to have to hope for a mistake from Petty Carl.
Yeah, watching that, I think you're on the perfect track there. Apex Labs lacking a lot of proximity in the first half of that run, even making a mistake. So it's really going to be up to Apex here to make Petty give him the run of a lifetime.
Pretty much,
hoping that he makes a mistake back there or gaps him. But both drivers are off the line, and right away Petty Carl is saying no, no, no. But losing proximity going under that bridge after taking that big leap of faith on that door-to-door contact on the beginning of the run, but both drivers coming through this second interclip, and we have a wall tap, and Apex is off of the track. Petty Carl going to continue his run up this hill and finish it out on the wall, and on the wall to
close enough
complete
to
that run.
I think that'll lock him in to our top 16. But shout outs to Petty Carl. I'm sure a good amount of you know Petty Carl. I believe he streams on Twitch, twitch.tv/Petty Carl. Hit up the boy, let him know what's going on. Check out his channel. Tell him to drive our cars. I'm kidding. I'm just talking shit. He's good. He knows the jokes. But yeah.
But if you are here,
if you are here, like the stream, stream, subscribe. It really it just kind of promotes the live stream. You know, we don't generate any revenue off of this. We're just trying to get this out to people. One thing, and I won't take too long. Our community, we really like to promote any level of drifting being able to enter into our competitions and participate. So we like to keep an open gate and allow people to come in as they, you got to spend so much money to get a computer, all the equipment, blah, 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 blah. It's hard to do. So we want to make an open avenue for people to participate. Do we have other things in the pipeline to make things a little bit more competitive? Maybe. Stay tuned. But for now, come on in. We want to have y'all here. So, happy to have y'all. And thank you, Petty Carl. Thank you, everybody else. We appreciate all you drivers. You guys are great gentlemen. It's been a great run so far. But Petty Carl takes that run, moves on to our top 16. And we're going to call up our next group.
And we got our top 16 bracket up as well. You can see
Half of it
is populated. So now we got the other half to populate.
Going to move on to this second half. And those next 8 drivers are going to be Lupo Chaos, Heretic from Shadowrealm, TDR Keith, Criticos from Shadowrealm. I always fuck this up. MAE86 from Shadowrealm, Bun Shiesty from Shadowrealm, Static Shitbox, and Kinetic Chillmate. Gentlemen, if I called your name, please make your way into the server. We're going to get this popping off. You first two, Lupo Chaos and Shadowrealm's Heretic, you're going to make your way to the line. We're going to get this going as soon as possible. So we're going to do a little 30-second countdown to make sure these first two drivers get in there. And if not, the one that doesn't show will get a buy run. Looks like we have a Heretic in the chase position, ready to go.
All right, 30 seconds to start it.
Oh, it started already. We're about 15 now. All right. Well, Heretic, you get a buy run. Looks like he's going to get in the lead position for this buy run. Should we do an end card view?
Yeah.
Pretty good lead run here. Pretty good buy run so far. Watch me curse it. Watch me curse it. Watch me curse it.
Oh.
Drifto is going to make his appearance right here.
You took it back before it could get cursed.
Drifto's hitting his mark. Oh, he didn't. Oh, what a run, Heretic.
And a 360 to finish it off.
And a 360 to finish it off.
On the cupcake.
What a nice run. Shadowrealm's own Heretic moving into the top 16 on a little buy run. Little lag issue there, maybe, I don't know. But we're in it nonetheless.
All right, so now we got TRD Keith versus SR Criticos. Get these boys on the line.
TDR Keith in the lead. Criticos in the chase. We have a Criticos. Do we have a TDR Keith? Not in the server.
Uh-oh.
We made the call. Whenever the group was called, TDR Keith was also not in the driver's meeting.
No call, no show?
No call, no show. That is a buy run for Criticos. Criticos rocking that Fox body, sticking in the chase position. He ain't scared. Let's see how he does here. Okay. You could be deeper. Criticos. I'm only giving him shit because he's one of our boys. You could be deeper.
Watch him hit the wall. No. Oh, my God.
No, he didn't. He conservative.
Yeah, he was
buy
about
run.
an hour and a half from the wall. Jeez.
Hey, it's okay. He's doing his job. All he has to do is do a run. He's fine. Leave the man alone. After I just said that.
Doing all them spin wheelies.
I'm
and
sorry,
shit.
Criticos.
No, you're not. Don't say you're sorry.
we got an all Shadowrealm battle up right now. We have Manny against Bun Shiesty. MAE86 in the lead against Bun Shiesty in the chase. MAE86 in that SC300.
I'm just gonna call him MA6. MA6. Just
Mag
like that.
6.
MA6.
Just call him. Just say it's Manny.
Manny.
Manny's the man.
Manny's the man with the plan.
All right, we're off here. Kind of a slow start, but we're in. I would call a rerun there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's on lead driver on that one.
I would call a rerun. That was
hot
almost like a
dogging
yeah.
the
There was like
chase.
something. Yeah, there was. It's almost like I don't know, either that or a zero. I don't know.
I
We'll
feel
see
like
what judges say. We'll
I
see
feel
what
like he
judges
just
say. Judges called
misshifted.
restart
Yeah.
before the time. It just switched to 8:02 in the middle of that run, and they called restart before that happened. So we're gonna do a restart on that run, and that'll be a clean re-go.
Then he might maybe hit a cone and he was just stopping to like.
I don't know what the hell happened there. That was kind of odd. It's almost like I don't know.
thing
There's
is-
been a couple of issues tonight, and the judges have already called an OMT for one of them. There's been some netcode shit going on, and I don't know if it's the server or what the hell, but
Surely both these guys are in a chat together, so they probably called it out.
oh yeah. All right, we have a clean start. Damn. Okay, we got Bun Shiesty right on the door of Manny in the initiation, leaving a little bit of room in interclip too, but getting back on the door. A little bit of a tire drop in the lead from Manny in outer one. Clean transition, a little bit of a tap maybe on the bumper between the two. They drive together a lot. They're not afraid to trade a little bit of paint as they move up the hill. Clean interclip. Oh, on a wall ride of the centuries between the boys. Very good. I think Bun Shiesty had a little bit of a disadvantage, but ultimately, decent run. What do you think?
I think Manny definitely can go confident into this next run, as Bun was just not the proximity we wanted to see, and then that maybe that little bit of contact going into outer zone 2 might be another point of contention there. So I think Bun's gonna have to skinny pedal to the floor and speed run this, and Manny's gonna have to just hold good proximity. As these drivers are off though, ooh, maybe a tire off that inner clip, I'm not too sure. As they come into this touch and go into outer zone 2, Manny keeping better
Definitely a
proximity
tire drop in
throughout
the lead
track.
there, I think.
I was watching the chase driver, so I didn't get to see it, but as they go into this outer zone 2 up the hill, Manny not leaving any room for Bun Shiesty as they make it into the center clip. Going into this outer zone, the wall section will be taking its first victim, and no! Bun Shiesty will be rubbing that bumper throughout. I could guarantee there's a credit card size gap between that bumper and that wall. Pretty crazy run coming out from both these.
Those are
SR
great
boys.
runs, man. I mean, those are really, really good. I think Bun Shiesty's mistakes in the chase in run 1 are ultimately going to catch up to him a little bit. But man, what a fucking lead!
Yeah,
I'll
Bun
say it. What a
Shiesty's-
lead! What a lead! That was nasty, and I mean that in the most provocative way that I can say. And I didn't mean to cut you off in the middle of run 2 when you were commentating. I think there was a little bit of a tire drop from Bun in outer 1, but Manny did the same thing in his lead. I just saw a little bit of dirt kick up, but as you watch the slow-mo right
But
here,
this contact right here, this contact
Yeah.
I think is the big deciding factor on what happens in this battle.
but
what
Manny keeps it clean in the lead, but Bun, I mean, that ultimately, how the judges look at it, and they kind of said this in the drivers' meeting to some degree, is that if you impede the lead in the chase, that's your fault. They're laying down a line for you. You know what I mean? So, I don't know.
Sometimes these guys get too aggressive, and then we see some tappage of the door. But in my opinion, on the views that I have with this cam, I'm gonna say that Manny would take unanimously. But
Let's see what the judges say.
we will find.
We got
out.
one going, Manny. Oh, we got an LMT on the board. Ultimately, it looks like Manny is going to be moving on to our top 16.
Smoke inside my soul.
Sorry, I had a message from one of the drivers. Tofu, I know you're in here and I know you're listening. For the next battle between Chillmate and Static Shitbox, we're going to have to do a chat countdown. So we will have to do a chat countdown, but hold on. Okay, both drivers are in the server. We're going to wait until both drivers get to the line. We're doing a little bit of communication between the drivers to make sure we have this ready to go. Tofu, don't let him go until we have a confirmation here. We may be good. Let me pull up the in-game chat just to make sure. I think we're good. Go ahead and rip it. All right, and we are off. We have Static Shitbox in the lead, Kinetic Chillmate in the chase. Shitbox in the lead, no tire drops, pretty clean. Little tire drop on NO2, very fast through that first section. Flying through this outer one, a little bit of tire drop, manages to make most of the outside zone. The Kinetic Chillmate right on the door of Static Shitbox as they make their way up the hill through outer zone 2 into inner clip number 3. Kind of closing off the chase there, which the drivers were told to not do in the drivers meeting. Kinetic Chillmate maintaining proximity and matching the line of the lead driver almost the entire way through the course. Static Shitbox doing a great job in the lead, but making a couple mistakes that he'll have to make up for in the chase.
Yeah, Static did make a couple noticeable issues in his lead run, especially that tire drop on inner clip 2. But Chillmate doing a great job of keeping proximity, just staying in that pocket. So we'll have to see what happens in this second half of the battle as
we'll
drivers swap positions.
Another chat countdown, we'll be good to go.
And both drivers are off of the line. Chillmate in the lead in that yellow S15. Static Shitbox in the Static Shitbox. Both drivers coming through. Static Shitbox making a bit of a straighten up there to get proximity. A little bit of a lag spike as we go into this outer zone. Both drivers door to door, bumper to bumper transitions into this second outer zone as they come up the hill. Static Shitbox tapping the door saying, "Hello, I'm here and I am ready to party." As they come up this hill into this outer touch and go into the outer zone. On the wall, both drivers across the line. Beautiful run. But Static Shitbox making a very, very, very noticeable mistake at the beginning of his run in the chase. So,
yeah, I mean, that's going to be an issue. It's going to be something that the judges are going to have to talk about a little bit and make their own decision. Static Shitbox really on the door at times, and apologies for the drone cam. I tend to put it top center a lot of times, but I'll do better. I'm noticing that in the run side by side, so learn and improve. Anyway, we see a little bit of a tire drop in the lead from Static Shitbox in the outer zone 1. Meanwhile, we have Chillmate really on the door the entire time. A little bit of wavering in outer zone 2 in the lead from Static, and kind of a weird line going up the hill. I don't know if you noticed that, Pushy.
Yeah, it was a lot of angle coming up the hill from Static.
Yeah, there. Almost like a little bit of a not a true decel, but a deceleration.
It's very, very close to parking.
It's close to it. He got lucky because Chillmate was pretty far behind. Not pretty far behind, but far enough behind. But we'll see what do we have. We have 1 for Chillmate, 2 for Chillmate, and 1 for OMT. All right, so Chillmate moving on.
Only will go to the top 16 on.
Oh, brother.
One of the judges tonight is just being the devil. He seems like he just wants to see them go again.
He does. We're going to have to do some investigation into the judging staff and determine who the OMT goblin is.
He was
Because
CIA, dude?
maybe.
Can I be like a black suit with sunglasses? That'd be sick.
We should be the Men in Black. Please tell me you watched Men in Black. At least the
Yes.
first one.
I've
Okay,
watched them
thank
all.
God. Yeah, dude, we should be men. Yeah, we should do that. Yeah. We need to do that.
Who's Agent K?
Whoever you want, I don't care.
Who's Will Smith? The real question, I guess.
I don't know, man. I have no idea. It's been too long since I've watched those movies. I can't determine the personality. I don't remember the personalities or anything. But we are almost completely through our top 32. We're going to pull up our next group of drivers, which Kinetic Legacy gets a buy run. So we're only going to be calling up 6 drivers. It's going to be Shadowrealm 6 Shadows and the Dirty Stang, also from Shadowrealm. Ian K70, Shadowrealm's Rick James, Max Yeager, Drifting Magics, and Slammed. So we're going to need all of y'all to join on in. I already hear drivers at the line. I'm sure as I rotate back, I'm going to see 2 drivers. I see 1, I see 2.
I see London, I see France, I see Grizz's underpants.
I don't wear underpants. I'm just kidding. I do. But anyway, now y'all know. We're ready to go, I believe. We have the Dirty Stang and the 6 Shadows up to the line. If y'all didn't know, 6 Shadows, creator, designer, maker of our SRDL Pro-Am pack, the V3 pack, and the upcoming Shadowrealm Pro V2 pack. Stay tuned. You will hear, you will see. It might come quicker than you think, but we have 6 Shadows in the lead. The Dirty Stang in the chase. 6 Shadows, quick initiation. Dirty Stang right in his stead as they move through to the first touch and go. First outer zone. No decel from 6 Shadows. On throttle almost the entire time. Dan right in his door. But as they move into outer zone too, Dan pokes back a little bit, massages his way into the pocket as they go up the hill. 6 Shadows running a damn near 100-point lead line. Dan being a little bit conservative as they move into the final outer zone. But a little bit of a tap, nothing to upset the lead, but you can tell these guys are teammates.
The MX-5 is such a cute little car next to the S15.
Isn't it? It's cute. It's cute. It's a cute little car.
It's so happy too. It's just happy to be there.
It's happy. Woo! Yeah. With the air intake coming out the front. My daddy gave me more power. He'll sue you.
Oh, it's like a nose ring. It's like, oh, dude. I'm like one with the dark arts, man.
Oh, dude.
But both these drivers are off. Dan in the go-kart, the MX-5. 6 Shadows on the.
There
oh my god.
was lag on initiation. There was
didn't
something.
look good. Something happened. We're gonna find out today. But the little dinky, the MX-5 is on a rip. 6 Shadows making the proximity back though. On the door. Both these vehicles skinny pedal to the floor, RPMs to the sky as we come up the hill into this outer touch and go onto the wall. Will we see a wall tap? And we won't. Conservative there. We will see as both drivers make it over the line. What happened in the beginning of this run? Will we see 6 Shadows go out in the first round? That is the real question.
1 second. Let me do a thing here. We'll see. We'll take a look at the side by side. Or, yeah, let's do this replay.
I think it's just an over rotation from sick.
I don't know. You know, ultimately, I have no idea.
I think it's the first time I'm going to say this, but did we just see a Six Shadows choke?
I don't think it was a choke. I'm not going to divulge his personal information. Poor guy has been dealing with some issues. He got sick recently, and so he's doing the best he damn can right now. So, I don't know, but let's watch this in slow-mo. It almost looks like he just over-rotated a little bit.
I think he just over rotated a little bit.
Yeah, I think he just overcooked her. Well, it looks like we have a call.
Judges will slide him left for 6, slide him right for Dirty Stang.
And it looks like they're moving to the right.
We'll see them all right.
We'll see the Dirty Stang move on, but ultimately, Six Shadows is already ranked 3rd in points. I don't think he has to even break a sweat. I believe he'll be locked in for our Pro-Am League without having to qualify. As the rule book was posted in comp announcements early on this year, top 8 drivers from the point standings from the Street Series will be locked in for the Pro-Am Series. And the top, I believe, 16 from the Pro-Am Series will be locked in for the Pro Series. So it will be a competitive opportunity to get into the Pro Series. Right now, up next, we have Ian K70 against Rick James. We have a Rick James. We don't have an Ian.
Uh-oh.
Looks like a Rick James will be getting a bye run. So we'll go ahead and kick him off. Ooh, real nice and close on that inner 3. Very good bye run out of Mr. Rick James, who will be moving on to the top 16. Up next, we have Drifting Magic's Max Yeager against Slammed. Looks like both of them are moving up to the line. Max in the lead, Slammed in the chase. We are off. Max Yeager initiating pretty heavily into the first inner clip. Right in the line on the second inner clip. But Slammed right in that chase position, diving into the pocket in that first outer zone, over-angling a little bit, losing a little bit of proximity as they go into the outer 2. Max Yeager keeping a very solid lead as they move their way up the hill into that final touch and go in that final outer zone. Will there be a wall victim? Nearly. Max had to shallow up angle to make sure he didn't hit the wall there.
I am waiting for that person to hit the wall. Someone's gonna do it. They have
If
to.
we don't see it in the top 32, which this is technically the last battle of the top 32, I'll be shocked.
I would be shocked as well, but maybe more pressure on these guys will cause that incident.
Potentially,
But-
you're right.
We're gonna go into the second battle here with Slammed in the lead, Max Jaeger in the chase, both drivers off, big initiation, doesn't look like any tire drops in that first inner clip as we come into this outer touch and go. Could be a little bit more proximity for Max Jaeger as we hit this outer two into this transition, or sorry, outer one into this transition into outer two. Both drivers a lot bit better proximity coming from Max Jaeger as we come up this hill. But remember, this is a deceleration, not a deceleration zone, but a natural decel. So you will get better proximity as these drivers hug the wall and over the line.
Man. I don't know. What's your analysis? What do you think?
So both drivers, I think, made some mistakes in their runs, both from lead and chase. Personally, from the angles that I'm watching, I think the lead would have been a little bit better coming out of Slammed. Max Jaeger might have had a bit better of a chase run, lacking a little bit of proximity though. The only thing that would Slammed I would deduct from his chase is that the bobble up the hill and that outer one over rotation. So we could possibly see an OMT.
It's
But-
very possible. Yeah. I'm kind of more on the leaning the side of Max Jaeger. I think his smoothness and consistency in the lead and the chase and his proximity was just... And he had better zone coverage. I just kind of lean more in his favor. But that kind of goes towards your OMT. So, I don't know, man. I'm just the talking drifter boy.
Yeah, no, that is fair. I think Slammed, my reasoning for saying that I'm gonna go on the side of OMTs, I think Slammed had a very good lead run. And I think Max Jaeger's lead run was a little bit bobbly, had a little bit less proximity on the wall at the end. I just think that it was a bit harder to chase for Slammed. But I think he had a way better chase, but lead was way better as well.
I don't know, man. I
if
think
we
we
wanted
should
to
fist
see it
fight.
again-
I think we should fist fight. I think you should be on Slam's team and I should be on Max's team, and we should fist fight, and then the winner wins.
All right, YouTuber.
What's your height? What's your
YouTuber
height?
battle?
What's your
my-
height?
My height? I'm like
Yeah.
5'10", and like maybe 5'11" when I wake up.
I'm 6'4". All right. What's your weight?
Last time I weighed myself, I was 188, and that's in pounds.
278. All right. I'll fuck you up. Let's go. I'll pick you up and I'll fucking eat you.
I don't fight fair, dog. I kick you in the nuts the first chance I got.
All right. You win.
You're bigger than me. I'll take you down to my level. I'll tell you that right now.
Fight fair, dog. All right. We have a call. We're going to move it to the sliders. We'll see what Judge 1 says. We have an OMT off the rip. One for Max.
And another one for Max.
Another one for Max.
Max will take it.
We got another one for Max. All right. All right, we're good to go. Well, we have our top 16 solidified. So we're going to take a quick little commercial break so us Chalk and Drifter boys can take a little pee-pee break.
Little drifter
And
brew.
we're going to see y'all here in probably about 3 to 5 minutes. We'll see you soon.
I can't breathe until you let me. I took a bullet to my chest and I buried all the empty pieces that I left behind. The voice inside my head, I'm getting lost inside my faith. If the world wants us dead, I'd rather die in your embrace. I can't believe in a ghost buried deep below. I can't believe in something that remains under the ground. I can't believe in a ghost. I can't believe in a ghost. It's the planet destruction. Tear me apart, rebuild my eyes. My heart can't function. There's no walls, no place to hide. I can't believe in a ghost buried deep below.
Let's go! Top 16.
Hi.
We're in this. We're ready to go. Hopefully our first 8 drivers are ready to go. Because off the rip, we're going to have Carbon Drift Team's own Omer Bagdatley against E92 Nick. And then we're going to have Bad Future Serene against Ferbs. Then we're going to have Diaz W86 against Shadowrealm's own Nibish. Then we're going to have Shadowrealm's Chewy going against Petty Carl. So if those 8 drivers will make their way into the server, we're going to get this kicking off and moving along. You drivers in the next half, get yourselves ready. Get warmed up in that practice server. Because before too long, it's going to be your turn. We have Omer in the server. And I heard him rev. There he goes. We'll have Omer leading E92 Nick. And we are ready to go. Omer Bagdatley running into inner 2. A little bit of contact, straighten up.
I hate to cut you off, Grizz, but I think we're going to be having a restart after this run.
Well, we do have on-screen replays. We may be able to work off of this. So we're going to let this run finish out and see if we can have this happen here. And see what we can make of this. Just a hot minute here. All right, we're good to go. Judges were ready, so we're good to go for run 2. We'll have E92 Nick in the lead here, who needs to back up probably a little bit, but
Omer is over the line.
E92
Yeah,
Nick is over the line. Let me give him a little message.
E92 Nick
Yeah.
is over the line. That's my bad. Don't listen to what I'm saying, because I don't know what I'm saying half the time. 90% of the time, I don't even know what the fuck's going on.
All right.
All right. You guys are going to go. They're going to go off. All right, so we have Mr. E92 Nick in the lead here as he initiates. Omar looks like maybe going one off in the chase there. Both drivers through this little power alley into this first outer zone. A little bit of wavering from Nick, but Omar doing his best to keep the proximity there as we go into our second outer zone under the bridge. Going up this hill, Omar making up that proximity, almost tapping Nick, but Nick looking like
Nick closing off the chase there.
Really closing off the chase. Looked like he lost a lot of momentum going up that hill, even straightening up a little bit to avoid the wall. Maybe, I don't know, maybe some hardware issues, maybe not a tune selected, but nonetheless, he ran the run, so he will get judged on it.
That just didn't. I mean, if you watch run 2 again, and pardon my angle of the camera, but if you watch him run through here, he gives no room for the chase. You know what I mean? And now, as a viewer, you might be like, well, so what does that mean? Okay, so in the driver's meeting, the judges discussed, there was a question actually proposed about leaving room for the chase in our clip number 3. It is an uphill. It's a kind of an apex point for the turn. And judges discussed that it should be left open so that the chase driver rather has an area to be in the pocket. So if you properly hit that line, you shouldn't have any issues. So we have a little, yeah, let's look at this contact here. A little bit of left foot brake going through the first outer touch and go. But there was no angle coming through from E92 Nick right there. There's no way he would have hit the zone.
And if we would be in a real life scenario, not in a simulation, like 100% E92 Nick is ruining an upper lower control arm, tie rod, blowing that tire out. There's so many things that could happen in that kind of contact.
Yeah, that's I mean, that would in the real world, excuse me, throw off the lead driver quite a bit, I believe. But I mean, we're in a video game, and judges take that into consideration. They judge to their best ability. One of our judges has been judging sim drifting alone for 10 years. And the others have been either real life drifting or doing the same thing for at least 5 to 7, if not 10 themselves. So it's,
yeah.
There's a lot of competitions. Sorry, Pushy, I don't mean to cut you off. There's a lot of competitions out here that just grab who they can to do judging. We take it very seriously. We try to get the best judging experience we can to be in the booth whenever we do something like this. There's a lot of different things to take into consideration. There's, internet connection, there's server connection, there's, the hitboxes, blah, 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 you name it, it's there. So it's a big analysis, but as we sit right now, it takes a little bit of time, but we are at the point where we do have a call. Judges have pulled replays, looked numerous times. We have Judge 1 sliding towards Omer, Judge 2 and 3 also sliding towards Omer. Omer will be moving on to our top 8. And up next, we will have Bad Future Serene against Burbs. Sorry, I'm working on some stuff. Pushy, can you take it away for a minute?
Oh yeah, I can take it away. So this has been a very interesting competition to say nonetheless. A lot of these drivers, a lot of talented drivers out here. So we're gonna look here at what we have coming up next. So we have Bad Future Serene, Ferbs. So that is going to be a battle to watch. Then we have Diaz W86 versus SR Nibish. Not Nibish, Nibish. SR Chewy versus Petty Carl. That is going to be another run. SR Chewy getting a bye run last round, so not any kind of, well, I mean, he's been practicing all day. Let's get for real here, but not a lot of practice in competition with a second driver, so a little bit of a uphill battle maybe, but I think Chewy can push through. Next up, we're gonna have a SR battle, Heretic versus Criticos. Another interesting battle to see Criticos in that Fox body, so I'd love to see it.
We got 2 on the line. We're ready to go for our next battle between Serene and Ferbs. We got Serene in that lead position. We got Ferbs in the chase. Good initiation. Almost a two-tire drop in the chase from Ferbs. Serene running a clean lead line. No tire drops as of yet in that lead position, covering all of the first outer zone. Leading into outer zone 2. Manages to ride that white line throughout the entire zone, but Ferbs knocking on the door of Serene as they move up the hill. And then that final touch and go and into the final outer zone. A wall ride of the century between these 2 red cars. Pretty damn clean, I don't know.
Red car versus red car in a very, very clean lead, very clean chase. I didn't see too much to get upset about. Maybe a couple minor mistakes coming out from the chase driver. But, like I said, nothing to really cry home about. But these drivers will switch positions and they will go for a second run. So Ferbs in that IS or Alteza, and we will have Serene in the E36. Big initiation. Serene out wide, lacking proximity as Ferbs is just running away here. Coming into this outer zone though, Serene will get back up on the door, and both these drivers will have good proximity, good angle. Bad Future Serene on the door, but again, coming up this hill, kind of a spot that you don't want to be lacking on the proximity, as both these drivers make it to the wall section. Wow, Serene maybe even a bit, oh, Serene tapping the wall at the end. Naughty.
That's not good.
Yeah, I really think coming through this run, if we look back to back, I think both these drivers did very great up until that ending where Serene tapped the wall. I think that is going to be the biggest decider if this run does not go to an OMT battle. I think this tap right here, this straighten out, didn't zero though, because he crossed the line sideways, but still a deduction nonetheless.
We are ready to go. We got a judge call. We got 3 going Ferbs. All 3 going Ferbs. Ferbs going to be moving on. Serene, unfortunately, the mistakes added up to be too many deductions. So, not gonna be the best for Ferbs, but that's okay. We have an open qualifying round for Pro Series coming up before you know it. So, no worries. Pushy, let's line us up for this next one. Give me just a second, though.
Give you just a second. Well, up next, we will be seeing Diaz W86 versus SR Nibish. Diaz, I might have talked a little bit of trash about him last competition, and then he showed me up and won the thing. So will we see that big body do it again?
He did get a bye in the first round. So is he cold? We'll see.
Is he? This is a small track for that big body. So it'll be interesting to see.
Excuse me, sorry. Sneeze attack.
But both these drivers off. Inner clip. Diaz, beautiful run with that boat. But Nibish not giving any room to make a mistake. He is in it to win it. And as we can see, coming up this hill, Nibish, door-to-door action, swiping a credit card will not be available for this transaction as they head up the hill. Diaz slowing up a lot though and losing a lot of angle to try to get through that zone. That might be a big deal for the judges. We really want to see angle and proximity on that last outer zone, especially that wall zone. That will get you bonus points with the judges. And we'll see. I don't know. Nibish did that last run. He was on that wall. So we will have to see if he can do it again. Diaz will have to put the pressure on in this next battle.
And we're in it. Nibish leading that off. Diaz in that chase position. Maybe a little bit of a tire drop, but we're on the white line as we go through the touch and go. Diaz on the door of Nibish to the first outer zone. Nibish flicking to the second outer zone as Diaz dives in through the transition, losing a little bit of proximity as they move their way up the hill. Nibish skinny pedal down as they go up the hill. And locking onto that outer zone. Man, these guys are locked in, both of them. There is no denying that both of these guys know exactly what the hell they're doing, and they are confident in such practices. So, I don't know, the side-by-side is going to be the truth serum, as Jared Deanda would say. But our judges making their pay in nothing. They don't get any pay. None of us get any pay, so...
No, we are not on the payroll, sadly. We are just here for fun. Just for funsies.
Do you remember the way we loved and let it go like a feather? Some things have changed, but I can still feel the weather of those days where we threw our worries away, saying that we would never fall too fast. While my heart is still beating, I needed just
All right, we got a call.
take me right back, take me back.
We got one going Nibish, one going OMT, and two going Nibish. You know, I'm kind of curious, and I think it'd be a fun moment to pull a judge up, kind of explain that call a little bit. What do you think?
Sorry. I'm just...
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're chilling.
I'm on something else right now, but I think both these drivers, looking at Nibish's second run, I don't know. I'm gonna have to say maybe Nibish will take.
Nibish did
All right,
take.
Nibish did take. Sorry, I'm watching the stream itself because I'm in the looking at the chat stuff. That is 100% my fault. But yeah, sorry. After watching Nibish's run, I mean, it is pretty clear the bobbles in the lead from Diaz.
That's kind of what I thought.
I think would have been the major deciding factor on why, and a little bit of the proximity too. I think Nibish was just door, not giving any room, not even a car length, not half a car length, just there the whole time. And I think Diaz just lacked a little bit of that in his chase run. So I think we're gonna see these next drivers come up.
Yeah.
And we're going to see another run from the Robot Chewy and Petty Carl as
Shit. Uh-oh.
as they go into the outer zone. Both these drivers, good proximity. Chewy not giving much of that zone to be eaten up by those tires. And that S15 as they come up the hill. Both these drivers doing an amazing job in the lead, in the chase. Just a great mimic from the chase driver, but Chewy doing a great job up front. We are
so
in
disclaimer,
for a run.
Ladies and gentlemen watching the stream. The stream cam is not what the judges see. So if like a mistake was made there, I said we were ready. I thought I was locked onto the cars. I was not. So my problem. Anyway. Judges have a full replay. They can move around the angles, telemetry, blah, 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 blah. We just try to make it appealing to the viewer. So that was my fault. I apologize. I'll try to not make it happen again.
You're good. Where are you?
I try to make... Oh, we got a late start from Chewy here.
Or was that a jump of the light? I'm not 100%
Considerable
sure.
gap. But we will see what goes on. Big tire drop in the lead. Chewy is on the door by the time we get to the middle of outer zone 1. Looks like Mr. Carl, a little bit of a shootout in that second outer zone, but we're locked in as we move through the second half of the track, through the end, the final outer zone 3. Chewy knocking on the door of Carl. I don't know what this one's going to have to hold.
I don't know what happened at the beginning.
That was my fault. I apologize. I'm sorry.
No, I'm talking about the beginning of the second run. I don't know what happened. Did
I don't
the
know what
light
happened
not
either,
shoot
man.
off? Alright, we get...
Sorry, there's a lot going on.
Alright, we get a countdown. Light goes green. No, Chewy's just sleeping off the line. Yeah, I think this run is gonna have to go to Petty Carl. Just off of that late start from Chewy. But I'm not a judge.
I don't know.
Guess what? Maybe they're gonna just come up with this insane thing. They called the server provider. They got snapshots. Maybe they know it was lag or something. Maybe I don't know, man.
I don't know. But looks like we have a call. Judges were obviously able to see everything. We were not. That's my fault. But looks like we have 1, 2, and 3 going Petty Carl. So Petty Carl is gonna hold this one out and move on to our grade 8.
Going against the man that's on a mission, Nibish. All right, so we got the next 8 drivers to come up. We have SR Heretic versus SR Criticos.
Oh, let's go, baby.
Manny versus Kinetic Chillmate. Duh. Dirty Stang versus Rick James. And then the last 2 for the top 16 is going to be Drifting Magics, Max Jaeger, and Kinetic Legacy. Get you guys in the server and we can get this rolling. Your engine's revving. Good.
Oh man, dude, what a I've been itching to get back into the comps. And Pushy, I know you can attest to this. You're 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off with your job, and being 2 weeks on and coming back and trying to take care of the 2 weeks that you've been off is an uphill battle, I'm sure, every single time you get back. And so I can't imagine what you have to go through. But I mean, you know, the rest of us with our petty, maybe 9 to 5 or however the hell it may be, jobs throughout the week. You know, running Shadowrealm's a lot for all of us, but how much pride does it give all of us to create something to where we're able to have some fun and communicate and that kind of, you know, it's just really fun, you know? So I think I speak for all of us whenever I say we appreciate you all being here.
Just a group of guys loving what they do, and then getting to have you guys come out here and do what you love to do makes us love what we love to do. So you know what? We're going to have both these drivers come off the line. Two of Shadowrealm's own. We'll have Heretic in that S14, Criticos in that Fox body as they come under the bridge into this outer touch and go into this first outer zone. Oh no, Heretic missing most of that zone, but Criticos able to hang on to it in the chase. As they come up the hill though, oh, Heretic trying to get all of the zone, but will go one off as Criticos is just there, locked in. Both these drivers into the wall section. Maybe Heretic having a little bit of lag issues as he taps the wall and will make it across the line. Shallow angle. That will be another deduction off that run. Both these
little
drivers,
bit, but that's okay.
I think maybe Heretic got a little bit of shaky knee syndrome. I think now he's got to battle someone. He got that bye run. He's gotta shake the hands. He's gotta let it out. Just shake it about and let it all out, you know?
All right, we're off, and I locked on the start light. Here we go. Heretic in the chase, dropping 2 off initiation. Criticos in the lead, straightening up in the chase. We have Heretic. Criticos in that lead position, laying down a good lead line, covering more of that outer zone than Heretic did. Heretic gonna have to lock on the door of Criticos here and hope that he makes a mistake as they go up the hill. But Criticos being very solid as they complete the track. I think this is going to lean in Criticos' favor, and this is going to be a Criticos win.
I'm almost 100% certain that Criticos will be taking this one. Heretic.
You know, I'm kind of mad, though, because I love that S14.
That S14 does look pretty nice.
This thing is hot, dude. And I'm a sucker for an S14. If anybody knows me, they know that. So I'm just saying. But I also love Fox bodies. This is a heart wrencher for me. I don't know. We'll see what the judges think.
I don't know why I'd have a bias for a Fox body or anything like that.
I don't know why you would either, man.
Yeah. And as we suspected, Criticos will take it unanimously. Yeah.
All right. And we're going to move on to Shadowrealm's own MAE86, a.k.a. Manny, a.k.a. Da Boy. I just named him that. I don't know. He's actually a man, but anyway. Against Kinetic Chillmate. And this is one of those battles that we will have to have a chat countdown for. So we're not going to do that right now. Not just yet, Tofu. I'm going to make sure Manny is good with that chat countdown before we get to going. Let me make sure I get this right. Hold on. We're going to double check this real quick. All right, we're going to proceed with a chat countdown right now. A Count Chocula right now. And we're off. Manny in the lead. Kinetic Chillmate in the chase. Clean initiation. I'm not sure if there were any tire drops. I had a very poor angle. That's my fault. But Manny leading around the first outer zone. Good coverage. Kinetic Chillmate right in his pocket. Massages into the zone as they lead up the hill. Into the final touch and go. No wall tap, just a little bit of a touch. In the final outer zone. Good proximity. Great run overall. Fantastic
transition.
lead out of Manny. Very good chase out of Chillmate. Good mimicking. This is going to be one of those runs where you have two drivers that are so locked in, you're going to have to force one to make a mistake. And with two drivers that are so locked in like that, you're unlikely to get a mistake.
Yep, both these drivers look like they're on a mission here. I mean, that bumper-to-bumper transition coming out of Chillmate at the top of that hill was pretty crazy. But he will now be in the lead position, and we will see a one-tire drop from Manny as we see Chillmate coming into this touch and go into the outer zone. Manny diving into the door there. Chillmate filling all of that zone. Manny just sitting on the door though. Chillmate on that guardrail on the wall coming up the hill. Once again, Manny is just right there. And Kinetic Chillmate will be skinny pedaled to the floor, but Manny making that bumper to bumper transition as they come through the wall section and over the line. My God, this is a candidate for an OMT if I've ever seen it.
Man, you know, I'm going to combat your argument there and say we're more in the realm of typically it's a lead to lead, right?
Lead to lead. If both the chase runs zero,
we had two really good leads. This is a chase to chase battle. This is a rare occurrence.
You think we're checking to see who's the better chase driver?
I think we're looking at proximity and angle mimicking. Yeah, I think that's what we're looking at. Because I think we had fantastic zone coverage from both drivers in the lead. I think we had great, both drivers in their lead did exactly what they were supposed to do as far as the momentum map goes and as far as where they're supposed to be on throttle, where they're supposed to cover the zones, that kind of thing. Could they have been better in areas? Yeah, but I think it levels out. I think this is a chase-to-chase battle.
So if we're going chase to chase, I think, in my personal opinion, watching this over a few times, I think Manny definitely had the better proximity and was a little bit deeper in the pocket than we seen from Kinetic. Or not Kinetic. Or yeah, from Kinetic.
Chillmate, yeah.
Yeah, Chillmate. And so it's just Chillmate, I think, maybe even had a little bit less angle in his lead. May I add that in? So it's going to be one of those things that we're going to have to look at. And all three judges, I think, might take this one to a replay and just really give it a good once over before making a call here.
Well, it's definitely going to take a little bit to make a call. But while you're saying that it's going one way, I'm saying it's going the other way. I'm thinking it's going more towards Chillmate potentially. And the reason I say that is because his aggression and commitment in some of the areas may potentially overstep some things that Manny did. But we will see. Ultimately, the judges have said, we're pulling a replay, give us a minute. So grab your popcorn, ladies and gentlemen. It might be a second. But we're gonna pop in and show that little cool video about our new ambassadorship with PRP. So.
I was meant to be new. I was meant to be beautiful. The world would have looked to the sky and seen hope.
Welcome back, everybody. And we are still waiting on deliberations here from the judges. There's something that we didn't see looking back at the replays. So I think the judges are deliberating on exactly where the incident is. I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, the judges just have said that we are in a replay. We're watching it over again. Now, this could be one of those things too that we are watching from Grizz's perspective here. So it is possible.
And we don't have the best perspective.
Yeah,
I've admitted that several times. But yeah, we're working with what we got. But yeah,
internet
judges are
could
pulling
be
replay.
a thing too, just because he's got the stream, everything running. His connection to the server might show a little bit different than what the judges may be seeing as well.
I don't have stream running. We have Slay running stream. I'm running game and other stuff, but
Stream on Discord.
Oh yeah, that. Okay, apologies. Never mind. You make sense now. Okay, yeah, I'm slow, man, dude. Long day at work, long week at work equals a rough commentating stream for me.
I got off of this night. I got off of this run on night shift, and they like delayed my plane like a week and a half before I was supposed to leave because like we have caribou. They need to migrate. We can't bother their migration, so my plane came super late. Fucked my schedule up like crazy, and I've been waking up at like 3-4 in the afternoon. Some days I wake up at 9 a.m. I can't tell you when I'm gonna wake up. All I know is there's gonna be a point in the day where it's gonna happen.
But he's here right now, and he's here today.
I am here right now. That's what matters.
That's all that matters. All right. Well, it looks like we got a call, so we're gonna watch where they slide, and maybe have an explanation. We have one going Manny, two going Manny. Manny will be moving on, and all three going Manny. So it looks like both had a tire drop on inside one in the case. Chillmate tapped Manny on transition from outer zone 1 to outer zone 2 going into the tunnel, throwing off Manny's line. And it ended up coming down to that slight tap because ultimately both drivers had adjustments and manipulations in their lead and chase. But the biggest mistake was that tap. And the judges made the call saying it is going to be Manny. So we're going to move on. We're going to go to the Dirty Sang against Rick James, who are lined up and ready to go.
The Dirty Sang, not in a Mustang, not taking
The Dirty
off
Stang,
either.
not in a Mustang, in a Miata, and not moving.
Typical Miata drivers.
Typical the Dirty Stang. I don't know. Not that I have anything to go off of for that, but looks like we're good to go now. All right. Dirty Stang, one strike off the jump, but we're good to go off this initiation. We have, oh, the drone cam way too high. But Dan moving his little Miata in. A little bit of a tap in the decel zone from Rick James, but we make it happen as we move on through to outer zone 2. Dirty Stang exceeding the zone just a touch. But Rick James maintaining safe but close proximity. Little bumper-to-bumper transition as they move into outer zone 3. And a clean run overall. Well, maybe not a clean run, but...
Is it just me, or is every time you say Rick James, I can only think about it in Dave Chappelle's voice? And then immediately after you say that, I just say, bitch.
I mean, hey, that's you.
Rick James, bitch.
Well, Rick James, bitch, is going to be leading this run.
I put my boots on your couch. I'm Rick James, bitch.
Against the Dirty Stang. It looks like they're off.
The Dirty Stang will be in the chase. Rick James, bitch, in the lead as they go off. Rick James, one tire off, but I think the Dirty Stang might have went one tire off as well. But keeping the proximity here, not hitting that RX-7, not like it would make any difference with that tiny little MX-5. As they come into this outer zone, though, proximity to be had, and proximity is gained as they come up the hill here into this inner clip and outer touch and go. Perfect execution from both the drivers as they come into this wall section. And Rick James kind of maybe parking it there and causing the Dirty Stang to over Rotata. Is that what we're getting here?
I do not know. Let's watch the side by side and see if we can decipher what happened here. See if we can depict a winner. I think run 2 is going to be our dictator here.
Yeah,
because
right
you have
here.
to maintain control over the finish line. And it looks like Rick James over-angled a little bit. But Dan over-angled and looped it. He was about 90 degrees over the line. So,
But does that insinuate
But is that Rick's
decel from the lead driver? That is
You're
the
right.
big question.
You're right. Let's see the replay here. Let's see what we can tell.
Yeah, very good up to here. The transition's being a little laggy tonight.
It almost looked like he. Yeah, I have some ideas on how to fix that. So we'll talk later. So we have
Right here.
outside here. Was there? Oh, there was a wall tap.
Yeah, see, that's a, like, you can't. I don't know what's going on.
There was a wall tap. There was a wall tap.
I don't know if it's server related or not, but
Well, it's not my PC, so it must be server related.
I'm gonna
And that's
assume
something
it's
that I
server
can
related.
fix. I can fix
Yeah.
that. So
because it just looks like
that was a wall tap.
100%
In the lead.
wall tap. there,
And
yeah.
as you know, we discussed in the driver's meeting, if the wall tap upsets the chase, ideally you're not supposed to hit the wall. You're supposed to graze it or touch it or be close to it. So
Yeah.
that could ultimately come down to being a mistake on the lead, meaning Rick James and Dan would get that win, but we'll see.
Rick James and Dan. There's only one winner here. Who is it?
No, I said that mistake would come down to being Rick James and Dan would get the win.
Okay.
Because, yeah, let's watch the slow-mo here. So Rick comes in here, over angles, clips the wall a little bit, and Dan really doesn't have anywhere to go. Makes contact and over angles. But I don't know. I'm not a judge. I'm glad I don't have to make this decision. I was glad that I get to hang out and talk. It's a lot easier.
Another try, cut my losses this time. Been through can't play another hand. Things didn't go to plan. I can't lose it all.
But we're gonna have the judges kind of determine what's going on, and I don't know, hopefully we'll figure something out soon. Ultimately, this is gonna be one of those that's may take a little bit of time, so bear with us, hang with us. Let's talk. Hit us up in chat. Give us some weird questions. What do you think? What do you think, chat? What are we saying? What'd you have for dinner tonight? Tell me that. I need ideas, because I gotta order something. I haven't eaten dinner yet. What do you think, Pushy?
What do you think? Oh, I can tell you what I had. I made myself.
What do you have?
I made myself a chicken soup. Chicken, no noodles though, just chicken, potatoes, carrots. All the
That-
herbs and spices.
Sounds really fire. Did you put cheese on top afterwards?
No.
Fucking Canadian, man. Oh, yeah.
Cheese and soup though, really?
Yes! Yes! Every time.
Cheese and soup? I'm
Yes.
lactose intolerant. Not a great idea.
Man, you're lactose intolerant? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I lactose.
That's an issue, man.
It is an issue. But guess what? I still eat it.
Ooh, Petty Carl. What's everyone's go-to pizza topping? Okay. That's a hard question, because is that just one single topping, or is that, like, what's your go-to pizza? You know what I mean?
Let's say one single topping.
I always get pepperoni. That's my base.
Let's say there's already pepperoni on the pizza. It's a cheese and pepperoni pizza. What, like, toppings, like onions, mushrooms, green peppers,
Okay,
pineapples?
Petty Carl
if you're
says
a
3
fucking
max.
demon.
3 max.
All right, so Petty, does
If
this
I'm
count?
going
Does
3
this count
max,
the meats? Does
dude,
this count
okay.
the meats? Sauce. Okay, so this must count the meats. He's got sausage in there. What do you think?
Sausage,
Grizz?
mushroom, onion. That's a fire ass pizza. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, so I'm going, and Lindsay says mushrooms have to be on the pizza, and okay, so if I'm getting a 2 topping, I'm getting sausage and mushroom, no question, getting it every time. If I'm getting a 3 topping, pepperoni, sausage, bacon.
Yeah, you see, this is one thing that I got different. I think if I'm doing a 3 topping, it's bacon, mushrooms, and then I'm either going green peppers or onions. I think more. I'd be on the
okay.
green pepper side though. I think.
Okay, so Petty Carl raises a very interesting point. He goes, first time from a new place, cheese only.
Cheese. First time from a new place, you get cheese only.
I don't disagree.
This is okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're getting a
However-
fire ass pizza if you open that box and instead of having that little like table looking thing to keep the box off the pizza, it's got a adobo.
That's right. But dude, he's right though, dude. If the cheese aren't good toppings, it's not gonna fix it. Like, if the cheese isn't good, it's not gonna fix the pizza.
But the question is, how do you fuck up cheese?
Oh, dude, there's plenty of ways to mess it up.
Yeah, but like, you're all getting the
Hey!
same cheese from the same places.
No. We have options down here in the southern Northern America.
Yeah, well, we got
I guess
options
y'all
here
would
too.
call it.
but Southern America, you're the
I
US.
said southern
of A.
Northern America.
Les États-Unis, Carlis.
Okay, stop that. I don't understand you. Now I'm
Yeah.
gonna bring out my southern.
Yeah, Tommy
Um,
Lemaire. If you know, you know.
Okay, Lindsay goes, wait, do Americans have an all-dressed pizza, or is that a Canadian thing? An all-dressed?
You don't have all-dressed pizza?
We'd probably call that a Supreme.
It has
What's an
like
all-dressed pizza?
All-dressed pizza would be like your normal pepperoni, what it would have. So it's pepperoni, and then on the toppings is like onions, mushrooms, peppers, like all of the vegetables, basically.
Oh, yeah, that's like a Supreme for us. The only thing that we would add meat-wise would be like sausage.
So,
Oh, we have a judge. We have a call.
yeah, we do.
Because we have all dressed over here and meat lovers. But go
We
ahead,
have
Gavin.
a non-unanimous call. But so initially there was contact from Rick James in the chase on Dirty Sting in the decel zone in Sting's lead.
Okay.
And then you have Rick James in the lead, which there was the contact at the finish line. But Rick James, if we had a different camera angle, it would be very hard to pull in and translate into stream.
Can I ask you a question before you continue?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is your camera smoother than what we have?
Yes.
Okay, we'll talk later. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. But going towards the finish line with the FC in the lead, which is Rick James, was from the judge's perspective. Well, it was from two of the judges' perspective. Because Rick James was kind of correcting before hitting the wall and crossing the line and trying to straighten out right here, which is about to happen on screen. And
So just before the line, the finish
just
line.
before the line.
Okay.
And the big thing is you got to have control of the car crossing the finish line.
Correct.
And two of the judges feel like the only thing saving Rick James from overrowing and going into the opposite side of the wall across the finish line was the contact from Dirty Sting in the rear of both cars,
Okay.
which caused Sting to over-rotate in the chase.
So I'm jumping a little bit.
Mhm.
Are the judges putting fault on lead, meaning Rick James, in the chase for the over rotation correction?
Judges are putting fault on Rick James in the lead
In run
across the
2.
finish line. Yes, in run 2. Yes.
Okay, so the win will go
And
to
OC.
Dirty Stang?
Yep. 2 for Dirty Sting, 1 for One More Time.
Okay. It is decided. Thank you.
All
right.
What did he?
We will be moving on. All right, there we go. All right, we're back in it. We got Max Jaeger against Kinetic Legacy. Clean initiation. Kinetic Legacy a little bit behind. Max Jaeger flicking it into the inner 2, grabbing the touch and go, moving to outer 1. Riding that entire outside zone in the lead is Max Jaeger. Kinetic Legacy in that chase position, locked into the pocket as they move up the hill. Not locked in the pocket, but locked into the cup holder of the door of Max Jaeger as they move up the hill. And in the final outer zone 3, Max Jaeger with great proximity along the wall, but Legacy maybe needing to move it up a little bit.
Both these drivers, very great run coming out from Mr. Max Jaeger in that lead. That was something to behold. He really, from his last run, definitely very clean on this one. So it'll be exciting to see what Kinetic can put together. As they take off from the line, though, Kinetic will be making that initiation. Maybe a one tire off from Max Jaeger. Kinetic keeping that line going. All the power, big angle as he initiates back into this outer zone. Max Jaeger, though, on the door to door, bumper to bumper transitions as they come up into this hill section, into this inner clip. Kinetic Legacy doing a great job not pinching that or chase driver off as they come into this wall section, though. Both a great run.
This is going to be a hard one for the judges.
This is going to be an OMT territory. If there's a run that I've seen tonight, this one, I'm 100% sure this one will be in OMT territory. I think the only thing that the judges could take away is maybe a couple of issues in the lead coming from Kinetic. But I think Kinetic's chase was just way more on the door, and I think that Jaeger was just so ever slightly creeping behind, not like in the pocket, but not on the door. You know what I mean?
You know, but he was. I see what you're saying. I do. And as I watch it more, I agree.
Yeah,
I was gonna try to form an argument for Max here, but I'm really leaning more towards Kinetic Legacy. You know, and this is kind of shocking. He was iced off the top 32. He had a buy run, so he didn't even have to show up in the server. But it was really cool to see him really show out in this top 16 run. So,
but it's one thing to be on someone's door, but especially in the sim, when you get door to door with the network stuff, it can be a little rowdy, and especially not even just counting that, but just tapping someone sometimes can upset the car a lot more than it would in real life. So seeing that door tap and not a whole lot of problem coming out from Jaeger, I think Kinetic he might inch him out, but then again, we might see an OMT. Maybe the judges seen something that we didn't see, because like we've been saying all night, this is one thing for us, is we see what the audience is seeing.
Yeah, commentators see what the audience sees, judges get to pull replays, and they typically do an over the car cam view. And they also have telemetry on the screen while that happens for one of the cars. And then one of the other judges is watching telemetry of the other car. Like, we go into detail with this, but right now, I think on screen is a good thing to talk about. May 23rd, May 24th, May 23rd, open qualifying round, 24th. We're kicking off round 1 of part 2 of the SRDL 2025 series with the Pro-Am series. June 14th, round 2, and then round 3 to be decided. Don't worry about that date on there right now. There's another really cool event happening that day, and y'all will hear about it.
Another cool event happening on that day.
I'll post the staff chat to let everyone know why I'm saying that.
Okay.
Oh man, Pushy, what are you getting into tonight? Oh wait, I think I know what we're getting into, but we can't say that on stream. Not that it's bad.
Well, definitely not
just
CS,
private.
because I can't afford another keyboard.
Correct. Yeah. We're gonna. Oh, all right. We got a judge call, or 3 judge calls.
Ooh, and it looks like we are going to see what the judges have to say.
OMT, OMT, OMT.
It was said, and it's true. OMT territory, and we will see it again. We want the drivers to clean it up, less tire drops, and deeper in the zones for the chase.
Well, hopefully we'll see that. Actually, I guarantee we'll see that. All right, we're off. Max Yeager in the lead. Legacy in the chase. Tire drops upon tire drops. But we're off. We're running through to this first outer zone. And Max Yeager grabbing every bit of it. As we move up the hill, Max riding that white line again through that outer zone too. Good coverage of interclip. 3. A little bit of a flick into that final outer zone. Legacy doing a great job in that chase. But that was a fantastic lead out of Max. I mean, that's the ideal lead run.
I think Max heard us talking about the proximity that was coming out of Legacy, and he said, yeah, here, hold my beer. This was in the cup holder that he was stuck to. Weight reduction as well. He popped that thing out the window and now is on a run of his lifetime. As we watch Kinetic line up in that lead position, the light drops to green. Both these drivers are off into this inner zone. Max Yeager will drop one tire on that inner clip as Kinetic Energy getting pedal to the floor. That thing is hitting rev limiter but not filling out this outer zone though. That might be a big point of contention for this decision as we watch both drivers come into the second zone. Max Yeager lagging behind as they come up into this hill section. Ooh, Kinetic Legacy missing all of that inner clip as he hits that touch and go. And onto the wall. Oh, I think
That's a Max Yeager win.
Cut out. Yeah, I think Kinetic Legacy has it cut out for him there. I think he needed to do a lot more in that lead. And we're watching a Fox body. I don't know what happened there, folks, but run number 1.
Top left, we have the right run. And, I mean, ultimately, if we watch this, Legacy did a good job in the chase. Max gave him a fantastic lead. But it's just, you guys just saw the second run. We do have a call. And I believe all 3 judges are going to slide it towards Max Yeager, and they do.
They will, yep.
I mean, it was pretty clear off just the face value of what was going to go down there. There were a couple mistakes out of Kinetic Legacy, and but we're going to move on to our great, fantastic, fantabulous 8. But before that, we're going to do a quick 5-minute break, give production a quick rest, and then we're going to hop right back into it.
I can't breathe until you let me. I took a bullet to my chest and I buried all the empty pieces that I left behind. A voice inside my head, I'm getting lost inside my faith. If the world wants us dead, I'd rather die in your embrace. I can't believe in a ghost buried deep below. I can't believe in something that remains under the ground. I can't believe in a ghost. I can't believe in a ghost. It's the planet destruction. Tear me apart, rebuild my eyes. My heart can't function. There's no walls, no place to hide. I can't believe in a ghost buried deep below.
Hey, yo. We're back. Grade 8.
Grizz, you got to give
Right.
kisses, by the way.
To who? To who?
I don't people that like the video, I suppose. Try to get us to 400. Okay, if you get us to 400 subscribers, whoever's the 400 subscriber gets a kiss from Grizz.
Whoa. All right, I'll do that.
I'm horning you out. That's right. You fucking listen.
I'll do it. All right, fine. Damn. All right. Wait, no. Dan said like the stream or Grizz is gonna come kiss you. So if you don't,
Yeah, but Swirly said if you promise, but only if I promise me I get a Grizz kiss. So that's just counterintuitive. What's that in the law book?
I'm not saying anything. I'm pleading the fifth.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
All right. Well, we're ready to get in our grade 8. All 8 drivers should be in the server, and those 8 drivers will be Omer Bagdatli from Carbon Drift Team, Ferbs, Shadowrealm's own Nibish, Petty Carl, Trinicos and Manny from Shadowrealm, The Dirty Sang from Shadowrealm, and Drifting Magic's Max Yeager. So up first, we have Omer against Ferbs. We're going to kick this off, run through the rest, and shut her down. And we are off to the battles. Omer leading Ferbs here. Clean initiation. Running through the second inner clip and in the first outer touch and go. Clean transition to outer zone 1. Great coverage from both drivers. Ferbs in that pocket. Bumper to bumper transition on Omer. While Omer moves his way up the hill, Ferbs is locked on the door with enough room in the pocket to move into inner clip 3 on to the outer touch and go into the final outer zone. Ferbs with a fantastic chase, but you can't have that good of a chase without a good lead.
That is correct. Omer on a rip there. But Ferbs trying to keep all of that proximity. Both drivers doing a great job just throughout this entire track. This track looks simple, but there is that uphill section can be challenging, more challenging than what it looks like on screen. So it'll be exciting to see what Ferbs can do in his lead, and if Omer can put it even harder on the door as both these drivers take off. Big initiation. Both drivers not dropping a tire. Omer, though, on the door, but Ferbs putting that skinny pedal down through the power alley and not even stopping in that decel zone as both the drivers make that outside bumper to bumper transition as they come up the hill, and Ferbs filling all of that outside zone as they come up the hill. Ferbs not backing down, but Omer on the door as they come over the line. I don't know. That is
I think Omer had a massive mistake in his chase.
yeah, I think Omer
From the
definitely
initiation to the beginning of Outer Zone 2, Omer was lacking quite a bit of proximity and mimicking. And Ferbs did not. Ferbs was there the entire time.
Omar
So-
get knocked out in the top 8 for the first time.
This is so the reason why I said it the way I did is because of how shocking it is to me. Omer is locked in all the time, so it's a little bit of a surprise to me. But I feel like there were points left on the table for Omer here, and that's not a slight. It's just the way it looks on the screen. Ferbs dives through the first and second inner clip, and Omer leaves a little bit of a gap to kind of give himself a little bit of room. But as you see, as he gets about midway through Outer Zone 1, he has to shallow up angle to dive towards Ferbs and Outer Zone 2 to maintain or to garner that proximity that he rather didn't have in the first couple of zones. So I think that's a big mistake that he needed Ferbs to make a mistake in his lead run for, really, because Ferbs had a fantastic chase in run 1. And Omer had probably the best run of the night as far as the lead goes in run 1. But pretty crazy. But
And it looks like
and it's
the
Ferbs' birthday.
birthday
So,
boy, yeah.
yeah, if Ferbs get a birthday win, that'd be pretty cool. But you never know.
But the one thing I'm gonna say, and this is like I was saying, it looks like a simple track, but even under that bridge, if you get a little bit too in tight on the lead driver, or the lead driver kind of impedes on you, you can get too in tight on that left side wall where that inner clip is. And that can cause you to have to check up, maybe left foot brake a little bit to try to get your car away from that wall. So that could have been something that Omar was struggling with there. Maybe he just had too much proximity under that bridge to that left side wall. And I think Ferbs was able to kind of take the advantage on that and run away into that touch and go before the decel. So, in my opinion, the only thing that I could see Ferbs getting hit on is possibly maybe a weird line under the bridge. But we're not really, I don't know if the replay is capturing that part of the run, so it's hard to see, but I know the judges will have that for sure. So we haven't had a call yet, which is means there must be something that we are not seeing here, I think. Because to me, and I agree with Grizz, it looks pretty cut and dry. Omer's chase is lacking proximity in that first half, and even kind of throughout the run. So is Ferbs just that hooked up? That's going to be the real question. But I think
We have a call.
Gonna get a call. Yes, you are right.
We do have a call, and we'll see which way they slide. We have Judge 1 going Ferbs. 2 going on T. What do we see? Ferbs win.
Ferbs will take it.
I would
non-unanimously.
guarantee it comes down to what I discussed.
I think you are correct. I think that first section just lacked in proximity in that first half of the track before outer 1. And even just throughout the track in general, I think Omar was just lacking in proximity. I think that's ultimately what led to his demise here in the Grade 8.
I think so too. But we got 2 E46s up to battle. Excuse me. And those 2 E46s are Nibbish and Petty Carl. Nibbish will be in the lead. Petty Carl in the chase. Nibbish in that brown one. Petty Carl in the green one. Got a clean lead coming out of Nibbish. Petty Carl in that pocket. Could get a little bit tighter in proximity. Makes a little bit of a tap as they transition, but does not upset the lead driver. Petty Carl locking into that chase position as they move up the hill. Nibbish grabbing every ounce of that inside zone. Transition into the final outer zone. Petty Carl, a little bit of a waver in the chase. Not able to maintain that proximity that he had coming up the hill.
Nibbish is on a fucking mission tonight. Oh my god.
Nibbish is locked in. I mean, he's really got it down. He's representing PRP. He's got it on. I mean, there's no question that both of these guys are in the zone right now.
That was a crazy run coming from Nibbish. Gonna be hard to top this one, but we'll watch as Petty Carl changes positions and he will be in the lead here. Petty Carl doing a perfect job in initiation, but Nibbish is hungry. He wants the win, and he is not gonna let Petty Carl have it easily as they transition into the second outer zone. Petty Carl kind of slowing up a little bit to kind of not get off track there, but as they come up in the uphill section, hitting that inner clip, that outer touch and go, and into this wall section beautifully. Both drivers hitting that wall section, I believe, probably almost perfectly there. But I think Petty Carl is going to have that just awkward transition going into outer 2. I don't know if there was any contact from Nibbish here, but we're going to see now from the replay. So a lot of room on the bumper, and then we just see a big slow up here. Which,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Definitely somewhat of a mistake to some degree.
I think Petty Carl might had that his whole Grade 8 battle might ride on that weird transition into outer 2.
I think you're right. Well, we'll see what the judges have to say here. We're ready to slide them left and right. We got 1 going Nibbish. All 3 going Nibbish. So Nibbish will be moving on to our final 4 against Burbs. Up next, we have Kritikos and Manny.
Kritikos and Manny. I'm just going to reiterate that just Nibbish, just an animal out there tonight. A lot of the guys you thought tonight were just going to go out there and absolutely dominate were out in the top 32. Or in the top 16.
This is
some new faces.
A wild round, but this is an interesting track. You know, Shadow Valley is very, very often underestimated.
That is true. That is true. It is definitely one of those tracks that people, I think, take for granted, you know? It looks very easy, but it's more challenging than you can expect.
Oh, yeah. And we are off. We got Kritikos in the lead and Manny in the chase. Both drivers off to a hot start. I don't believe there were any tire drops. As we move through to the first outer zone, Kritikos locked in on that outer zone. Manny on his door as they move through. A little bit of mayonnaise on mayonnaise action. Big car, little car. Will the big car be the bully? We will see. But it looks like Manny is just keeping tight proximity and mimicking that line of Kritikos.
Oh, finally it happens! It happens! It happens!
Curse.
I knew it! I knew it! Oh man, not the wall! And Kritikos will be the victim of the night.
Kritikos will be our first, or Drifto's first
Fox
victim
body too
of the night. Probably the
not
smallest
Fox
car in the
body.
pack. Oh, so Critico's going on a 0 in his lead run. Will have to go up in the chase against Manny for this second half of the battle.
Manny will be in the lead here. Will we see a back-to-back wall tap? And will we see Drifto reappear? He's been here at the start of this round as both these drivers go off one. Into the power alley. May not letting off as he comes into this outer zone. But Critico's trying to put on just trying to put energy into his run, because with that wall tap, he really needs to get Manny to make a mistake as they come up the hill here. Into the
No!
Drifto is in the building, folks.
Drifto strikes again in the grade 8. Oh, what are we gonna see here?
Drifto had us on our toes, I'm not gonna lie. Usually the top 32, Drifto is out, he's lurking.
Cannot believe.
Grade
That-
8.
We have an immediate call from the judges.
Immediate call.
And that's a wild one.
That
We have
is
2
pretty
failed
wild.
leads. I mean, everyone knows what that points to, so it's no secret here.
Yeah, I think Drifto might have got too high before the event started. He just woke up about 20 minutes ago, so he's only here for half of the competition.
We've got an OMT down the board, so we're gonna see this one again. But we're gonna see what happens between these two again. We got Criticos in the lead. Manny in the chase with a huge initiation. Criticos with a light initiation in the lead. But we're good to go. No contact. We're clean. Manny knocking on the door of Criticos without making contact yet. As they go into outer 2, Criticos locking in a little bit of left foot brake to maintain his angle. They make their way up the hill. A clean transition into outer zone 3. A little bit of an over angle from Matt or Criticos in the lead, and Manny looked like he gripped up a little bit, causing some contact. I don't know whose fault that was.
Yeah, don't know who's going to be at fault on that one, but we will see contact at the end of the run. So watching it get big angle on that initiation as well. But pretty clean throughout the run. We will see these guys switch positions. Manny from Shadowrealm. Criticos from Shadowrealm will start this battle. And
Maybe
already
a failure to initiate there?
that I'm not too sure. I think Criticos is far behind, but I think Manny still initiated in time. But we'll have to go back as they are in the outer second, or the outer first, going into the outer second. Manny pouring on angle. Criticos trying to get that proximity, and he does coming up this hill as they hit this inner clip into this outer zone and into this last wall. Will they stay off of the wall? And they will. Criticos even backing off. And then both drivers making it over the line. So the question is, in the first run, who will be at fault and who will be taking this run and going to our top 4 to battle either the Dirty Stang or Drifting Magic's Max Jaeger? What do you think, Chris?
I don't know, man. No, you know, honestly, I think Manny kind of has this here. As I watch run 1, Criticos kind of shallows up angle a little bit going into that third inner clip. And that's one thing that we didn't want drivers to do. We made that very clear in the drivers meeting. Additionally, in run one, Criticos' lead. A little bit of a weird happenstance in Outer Zone 3. And I'm glad we have that focused on screen right now because it'll be kind of interesting to see. He also had a heavy amount of left foot brake in Outer Zone 2, which isn't necessarily needed most of the time. But right here is where we need to watch. Yeah, the slow-mo action is perfect right here. Little left foot brake on transition, not bad. Manny kind of goes to surge to get ready for Outer Zone 3. Matt is already nearly 90 degrees in the beginning of the zone.
A lot of angle, and I'm going to say there's some left
and
foot
then you can, hold on.
There, yeah.
Can we rewind a little bit? Yeah, fantastic. You can see in the smoke, you can see the left foot brake. He was trying to save it.
Yeah, he was trying to get up into that line, but it just, I think he tapped the brakes a little too hard.
Yeah, but looks like we have a call, and I would imagine that it's centering around what we're talking about right now. We'll see how they slide, and if we think we need an explanation, then we'll go from there, but I think we're good to go.
Yeah, as long as the chap's not erupting in absolute chaos, I think we'll be okay.
All right, we have all three running Manny. Kind of looks how it... I mean... I think that's how it should have gone. So, but
I don't think there's any question on that. I think it's pretty cut and clear. That left foot brake in a non-D cell is a not a no. Don't do that.
Yep, I think we're good to go. But we're gonna move on to the last battle of our Grade 8 between the Dirty Stang and Drifting Magic's Max Jaeger. Dirty Stang leading in that MX-5, Max Jaeger in that U46. Good initiation. No tire drops off the first clip. Clean on the second. Both drivers locking it in this first outer zone. Max Jaeger on the door of the Dirty Stang through the first outer zone. Making their way through the second. Up the hill. Max on the door of the Dirty Stang. Great coverage of zones in the lead. And a very unfortunate wall tap over the finish line from the Dirty Stang.
Not looking good. Don't think there was contact to cause the straighten. I think the only contact was with Dan and the wall, sadly.
Yep. I do agree.
Drifto put the small magnets there just to get people closer to the wall. It was for the show, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But both these drivers will rotate positions. The light will go green, and they will take off. Max Jaeger, big initiation. The Dirty Stang on the line there as he makes his way to the door to Max Jaeger. Max Jaeger using all of this outer zone 1 as they transition into this outer zone 2, going up the hill. The Dirty Stang lacking proximity but closing the gap as Max Jaeger hits all of these zones, doing a great job in this lead run. And Max Jaeger,
that was contact from the chase. That was contact from the chase.
That is hard to say.
On that hill. I will die on that hill.
It's hard to say while you're commentating, but if Max Jaeger hit that wall first, that is the question. It's going to be the question from the judges.
Let's watch run 2 in the bottom right corner of your screen, really nice and tight.
Remember well, I don't know what the dealio is, but from our perspectives, there's a little bit of lag going on tonight, so. Like, we think it may be server side, and we're not 100% sure, but maybe Dan Dietland does make contact there.
There was contact before the wall hit. Okay, we have it full screen now. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so we have a clean transition in outer 2. Make our way up the hill. Max Jaeger riding that line furthest he can be in that outer zone, just like he should. Moving here. Contact. Dan Surge's wall contact from the lead. I think that can be attributed to the chase driver. Do you have an argument in
The only argument I have
In
is
opposition?
the only opposition I have is our camera angle. Now we see it looks like there's a contact there, but it's so subtle. You can see him
There's
tap the door
definitely
in
contact.
transition. There's contact right here. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Now that we're looking at it in slow-mo, you can see the car physically move once he's tapped. So
Yeah, it pushes him out.
yeah,
I
that's
think-
gonna
okay.
be on the dirty Stang for sure, and I think Max Hager will be taking this run.
Well, we have a notification of a judge call. We'll see what we have. Max, and Max. So Max will be moving on
Got-
to battle Manny in our top
Battle
four.
number 2 that we get right all night.
Probably. Dude, we're so bad
We try.
as
We're
commentators.
out here
We
trying.
just try to make it spicy, you know what I mean? But we're into our final four.
I just like to see arguing in the chat.
Arguing. Let's get it off. We got Ferbs against Nibish. Who's going to be on our podium tonight?
I'm gonna say Nibish wins tonight.
Ferbs has been knocking on doors all night, so I don't know. This is going to be a great battle.
I think we see a
I'm
final
really
battle.
excited.
Nibish and Max Jaeger. Not that I don't want to knock Manny, but I think Max Jaeger has been on a heater, and I think Nibish has just been an animal tonight. He's just been out for blood. So
I think that's a good prediction. But we're going to wait for production to get ready. And we're going to send these gentlemen off. But only 3 more battles tonight. Because as you know, we have points placements, so there will not be a third place battle. You will be placed off of your seed. So let's take a peek. Looks like, regardless, either M886 or Max Jaeger will be our third place at the least, based on seeding. So, Ferbs and Nibish here are battling it out for a podium spot. The loser of this battle will get 4th place. And we are off. Ferbs initiating Nibish right in him, but he drops a tire in the first center clip. Nibish maintains proximity through the touch and go. Losing Ferbs a little bit through outer zone 1, but Ferbs is running that 100-point lead and putting the tires on that outer line as he should. Nibish in the pocket. Bumper to bumper transition going in outer zone 3. But will it be a good enough chase to stack up against what Ferbs may have in his back pocket?
that is a good question. We do have a 1 tire drop coming from Nibish here, and
We do.
maybe a little bit. Could have been a little bit better in proximity, especially in that first outer zone. But he cleaned it up through the rest of the run, so this could be a deciding factor. But we will see them switch positions as Nibish initiates. Ooh, Ferbs staying out, not dropping a tire. And Nibish doing what he needs to do, but Ferbs on the door. He looks like he just wants it a little bit more coming into the second outer zone. Ferbs in that pocket on the wall, up the hill as they make it to this inner clip. Ferbs doing everything he needs to do. This wall zone, will it make or break? And it will break as Nibish nails the wall. And I don't think there was any contact here. I think
I do
Ferbs
agree. I don't believe there
will
was any contact.
be making it to the final 2. As we watch here again, side by side, you can really see Ferbs putting that door to work as he has just mimicked perfectly. And then right here, Nibish, yeah, Nibish just nailing Nibish, Nibish. All of the bish into the wall.
Yeah, as I watch run 2 again, I kind of want to see again. It looks like we have a call from the judges, but I want to see it one more time. It looks like Nibish just kind of went into the wall on his own there. You know, a little bit of Drifto action.
Yeah,
And Drifto is known to strike Shadow Realm members much harder than non-Shadow Realm members. So it's kind of a curse. If you join the team, Drifto is after your ass. So I would imagine all three are going to slide right, or left, rather, and they do.
And Furbs gets all of the judges' votes.
Furbs gets them all. Furbs is going to be moving on to battle it out for first place, either against Shadow Realm's own Manny or Drifting Magic's Max Yeager. So we'll have Manny in the lead, Max Yeager in the chase. And we're going to kick this one off. Both drivers on the line. I believe we're ready to go. Let's see what happens. Manny leading off Max Yeager. Big initiation. Maybe a little bit of a tire drop from both drivers, potentially. Could have been on the line. Cleanly going to outer one. Max Yeager in the area he needs to be. Could be a little bit closer. Manny really running these zones and creating a little bit of a gap, maybe more than Max has seen tonight, but Max is still there. Not any left foot brake that I saw in the lead. Good wall ride. Do you have anything to complain about, Pushy? I don't know.
The only thing I'm going to complain about is the picks that I just made, because I don't know anymore. Max Yeager definitely did a great job in that chase. He wasn't there, and it seems like he's been getting a lot of OMT situations because of this proximity issue. So we're gonna have to see what he does. He is known for having a great lead, so he will switch positions and initiate. Ooh, and Manny will go one tire off. I'm not sure if Max went one tire off. As we rotate into this outer zone 2, Manny having a lot more proximity, it looks like, as they transition here, going into outer 2, going up this hill. Manny kind of sending it in backwards to get onto Yeager's door. As they make it up through this inner clip into this outer touch and go, we get to the wall section, and no walls hit. Boys both go through cleanly, but I don't know. I think Yeager may have not had the amount of proximity as we were expecting. I think he lacked a lot of proximity in his first run in that first outer zone. But I don't know. Do you have anything on the contrary?
I don't know, man.
We're getting into those last battles. It's getting pretty tough to make a call, so I could say that maybe Manny was lacking in the proximity in his transitions, giving a lot of room for Max Yeager to transition. But definitely getting back into the pocket and really just being deep on the door. But Yeager having a very good lead run, so it's kind of a toss-up.
Max had a really good lead, but he was so conservative in the chase.
Very conservative, and may I add, very conservative on the wall. I think he may be scared. Drifto might have popped out. He's kind of like he's just there. You don't see him until you're alone, right?
Outer 2. Let's look at outer 3. I need a refresher of my memory.
The conservatism here from Max versus
Manny. I don't know, man.
Manny's got.
I do agree with you a little bit. I think this is a good OMT call, but because Manny did drop a tire, and Max did lack a little bit of proximity and commitment. Do they balance those out, or am I not a judge and I just talk? I'm going to go with the latter.
Yeah, the latter on that one's
I'm going to go with the
a good
latter.
idea.
So,
Steer it away from that whole
Yeah.
situation.
but this is a hard call. Definitely replays.
Manny said, big nose car, hard to transition closer. Manny, I used to drive big body cars, buddy. You're going to need a better excuse than that.
Man.
I wish we still had some of the archives. I miss being able to drive every night.
Oh man. If only. It's probably a good thing we don't.
When I'm home, I could, but currently I'm in the position where I need to buy a house, so my brain is in other places.
All right. We have a call. We'll see where it goes. One judge, Max.
Oh.
It's going to Max.
Ooh.
And a message pops up and it says Max ×3, but the commitment from Manny was notably aggressive in a good way. He was out for blood. Best chase and definition of commitment we've seen all night. However,
Chasers take note.
However, Max will take the win due to consistency, coverage, and I'll say it again, consistency. Ultimately, the inside clip 1 drops from Manny on both lead and chase were the deciding factors. So, if it were not for those inside tire drops, I would imagine there would be a different outcome. However, that is not the outcome. So, we have our final battle. And our final battle is going to be between Ferbs and Max Yeager, and we are off.
Manny takes
We got Max
third.
in the chase. Ferbs in the lead. Ferbs, great lead line thus far. Max on the door. Ferbs fades back a little bit. Fades back a little bit more. Ferbs has quite a gap going into outer 2. Max shoring up angle a little bit to maintain proximity with Ferbs as he makes his way up the hill. Grabs the final outer touch and go, and into the final outer zone. Max Yeager is locked on the door of Ferbs as if he were a magnet.
Yeah, that was a pretty crazy run throughout. I think, well, there's not really much to really say. I don't know if you were watching the same run as me, but I think both these guys were clean, did a lot of what they needed to do. And it'll be interesting to see what happens now that they've changed positions here. But Yeager versus Ferbs in this final battle. Ferbs on the line there. Don't know if he went one off. Max Yeager, though. Ferbs kind of straightening out to keep that proximity. But on the door here, taps Yeager. Loses the proximity. Yeager, good transition. Ferbs getting back on the door, but Max Yeager putting down all of that power and leaving Ferbs there for a moment. As they make it through this uphill section, Max Yeager is on the run of his life. And I think this might be the deciding factor, might be that transition and that outer zone 1.
I think Max may have dropped tire on outer 1. And I think that caused him to slow and caused the contact.
You are right. There could be a drop there, but it is kind of hard to see because that back wheel
It's hard to
is a little
tell.
bit more forward
like
than it looks.
like I've said a billion times tonight, I have the worst angle. So for big calls like that, but the judges have the replays and the cool stuff. Judge typed in the chat, said tire drop confirmed in the lead for Max. So
Yeah, that could.
Yeah,
come to
there
haunt
was.
him
If you
now.
watch run 2, he
yeah,
slows
you
quite a
can
bit in
kind of
outer
see
one.
it now. Yeah, you can see it pretty
That
good
may
now.
be the deciding factor here.
That could be
Which
it.
is out of character for Max Jaeger. I mean, he's been locked in all night. Not just locked in all night, locked in throughout the series. So
Are we gonna see another, just someone we weren't expecting to make it and then win it? Is this gonna be another night of this?
I don't know. Let's see. Let's watch the slow-mo rollback here. Ferbs dives in on Max as Max hits the outer
Yeah,
zone.
you
Lack
can
of
see the
tire
dirt.
smoke entirely.
Yeah, you can see the dirt come up as well. Ferb's doing a much better job clearing that zone. And
All right, we got a call, and it will be one Judge Ferbs. Ferbs will be the winner of SRDL round 3. So Ferbs in that Altezza will be taking the win, getting the 100 points for the 2025 SRDL League, and potentially moving on to the Pro-Am Part 2 League, or Part 2 Series. But we will have to do some work this evening and tomorrow to figure out who is going to be locked in for our Pro-Am League, and figure out who is going to have to enter into the open qualifying round. So until then, we will see you next time. Stay tuned to the Discord. Until then, have fun.
love you, everybody. Have a good night.